Wait, no.
It's already started. It's too late.
Welcome back.
Welcome back,
Uh,
everybody. This is the Scratchmen Apoo discussion. Now, for our dear listeners that don't exist, this will be a 3-hour discussion of the One Piece character known as Scratchmen Apoo.
yes.
So strap in. We got a lot to talk about here. Uh, let's go over the basics. Who is Scratchman Apoo?
Yeah. Scratchmen Apoo. Let's see. Let's
Scratch
start.
in. Join, join
Let's
the
let's
join the
start.
lobby, Cookie. By the way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's start with the basics. He is one of the supernovas in One Piece. So
Now,
that means he has a bounty above 100,000 berries
I
or
thought it was
bellies.
I thought it was 100 million.
100 million bellies. That's what I meant to say. We'll edit that in post.
No, we won't. We will
We
not be
won't.
editing that in post.
However, just means he was strong rookie pirate. Upcoming in the world. So, and
Yeah.
then he became part of the new generation after the time skip, of course. So,
So, for those who don't know about who the worst generation is, the worst generation or the supernova rookies are a group of how many is there? It's like
is
because
it
they
12? I think it's 12.
I think so. It's Luffy, Zoro, because he counts
Nope,
Zoro.
11. 11.
11.
It does. Okay. Um, let's see. Let's go through. I'm gonna try and remember them off the top of my head. Okay. So you have Luffy, Zoro, Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, Eustace, Captain Kidd, um, Gang Beiji, Killer, Scratchman Apu, the subject today. Blackbeard was part of that group. X Drake, and then you have three more. What are their names? It's the girl with
Jewelry
the pink
Bonnie.
hair,
Jewelry Bonnie.
Bonnie. Then you
And then
have
the big guy.
which guy? Which guy?
Which guy? The guy who
Yeah,
what's his name? It's like
tarot card guy.
yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Cookie, we're playing sumo wrestling.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Um,
Scratchman Apoo. What a guy.
yeah. What? But anyways, he's part of that group. That group, of course, was different from the
Blackbeard.
yeah, Blackbeard change. He was different. He was the outlier because he was not in the next
Because
group.
he's like 40 and not. Why is he even part of the worst? Whatever. Doesn't matter. We're not talking about him today.
Well, he was up and coming. Whatever. Anyways, we need to get back on track. But most importantly, obviously, Scratchman Apoo is part of said team.
Oh, dear
So,
lord. Yes, of course.
um, Scratchman Apoo, where should we start with him?
Let's just
Really, besides
go
that.
over what little information we know about him.
Okay. He, his first appearance, I believe, was in Saboti Archipelago.
Yeah, I think it was.
And that's when most of the supernovas made their first appearance, if not all of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Except for like I think obviously Luffy. I think he was the only one who. I think Luffy and
Luffy
I
and
guess
Zoro.
yeah, Luffy and Zoro are like the only ones who were introduced before that. So I mean, Scratchman Apoo. Let's talk about what he did in that arc, which was a whole lot of not a lot.
Yeah. Well, actually,
I mean, he okay.
one
Let's
of the things that he did, he fought Kizaru, technically.
he did
Kind
technically,
of.
but he got his ass kicked, obviously,
Yeah,
as all the rookies did.
it was more of everybody running away. And the reason why Admiral Kizaru is there is because Luffy, as we all know, punched the Celestial Dragon in front of two of the other supernovas that were there.
Yeah, Law and Eustace Kid. Some of
Yeah.
my personal favorites. Some up and coming
Nothing
rookies.
compared to Scratchman Apoo,
Nothing,
though,
of course, compared to Scratchman Apoo. You know, that's always implied. So let's. He did fight Kizaru. And his power is what's his devil fruit called?
He,
It may have been useful to to do some research on this.
His devil fruit is. Hold on. I'm thinking deeply about it.
Yes, of course.
I'm thinking really deeply about it.
Of course,
Very,
of
very
course.
deeply.
Deeply, deeply.
Okay. I don't know the name of his devil fruit, but it's a power that uses sound waves as a weapon by transforming different parts of his body into instruments.
Is that... Oh, yeah, he can transform his body, can't he? I thought he just was like
Yeah.
that.
No, that he can like it's a paramecia actually.
Is it?
Yeah, it counts as a paramecia, which is really interesting.
That
But
is interesting. For those who don't know, there are 3 classifications of devil fruit. The Zoan type, which is isn't that just specifically the type that turns you into an animal?
yeah, animal in that one starts with 3 base transforming forms, and
Yeah,
Chopper can use his Rumble Ball to give himself 9 more in total, plus a monster
yeah.
form.
Well,
So,
you know. I mean,
but yeah,
except post time skip when he could just do all that by default.
that's pretty exclusive to Chopper though.
Yeah,
So,
because he ate the human fruit. But that's not our topic of discussion
yeah,
today.
that's not our topic. Sorry. Oh,
Let's talk about Scratchmen Apoo. So then there's Paramythia, which is Scratchman's, which it transforms your body just into whatever the element of that thing is. In Scratchman Apoo's case, it turns him into an instrument.
it, which is an element.
Yes, one of the
By the
cardinal
way.
elements: earth, wind, fire, music, and love.
Yep. There's the 5 elements.
The fifth element, trust. Let's
There was a
talk.
movie called The Fifth.
We know. I know. That was the
It
reference.
was.
Whatever. Shut up. Don't don't talk to me about
All
the
right,
fifth
no,
element.
we gotta
We got to get
continue.
back on topic. Of course, of course.
So
Ooh!
more about his introduction. We first see him, Saboti, but we don't really. Our main protagonist, Luffy, none of. We don't get an interaction with him yet. Most of his appearances in the story, up until Wano, actually are in the background solely. It's him doing other things in the world. So,
Yeah, most of what he does up until Wano is basically background stuff. I think actually we don't see Scratchman Apoo a whole lot after Sabouti, aside from like him at the very beginning of like Fishman Island being like, "We're gonna fucking kill Shanks."
yeah,
So
he does
let's.
say that he doesn't follow through. Nobody's killing Shanks anytime soon.
Oh, come
But
now, Luffy will.
that whatever, that's not happening. Anyways, but Scratchman Apoo does um okay, let's take a step back. He is the captain of the on-air pirates, if you didn't
Mm.
know.
The
So
on-air
that
pirates is a reference to radios.
yes, that is a radio reference. That's a Radiohead reference, actually,
Not
to
is
get more
it?
specific. It's not.
Okay. Why do you lie? We're having a
I,
civil discussion here about Scratchman Up Who, and you fib like this? You fib at a time. Are you taking him lightly?
no, I'm not. I bet Scratchman
Because I
Apoo
could leave.
enjoyed the
I
joke.
could leave. If you're not going to take this seriously, I could leave. You know, this is real stuff.
You
Quick.
would. You wouldn't.
Oh, I could.
Anyways, no, shut up.
Anyways,
Back to yeah. He and the on-air pirates. He has a couple fights. Mainly are just against other supernovas. Well, Kizaru's the first fight, and then he was part of an alliance that included some other supernovas, which had Eustace Kid Killer and Witch Doctor guy. What's his
what's
name?
this? Look him up, just so we know for later.
All right. The big guy's Arouge, and then
What's this?
Arouge,
Who?
the sky, the
Oh,
madman.
that evil man, that evil
Yeah,
nefarious man who Did he also try to beat up Kaido? What was his deal?
Basil Hawkins.
Basil Hawkins, that's what his name is. I should know that. He's pretty big
Yeah,
now.
Rouge tried to beat up Kaido. He might be dead. We don't know.
No, he's not dead. He's just
We
severely
haven't we
injured.
haven't we haven't had a confirmation of life from him in like
He was
any
like
time
on
ever.
the Skyla Island. He's not dead. Whatever.
Yeah, that's
He's not the subject of our discussion here today.
yeah, of
It's
course,
going to
of
be a running
course.
theme. Here's the deal.
Um,
So he entered an alliance with Eustace Kid and Basil Hawkins and Killer, who was part of Eustace Kid's crew. And what he did is they tried to kill Shanks, which is one of the four emperors, who are basically the meanest mamma jammas in the world.
shut up. You're terrible.
And I do mean mamma jammas. They are so strong, in fact, that to put in context for how strong they are, red-haired Shanks, he's so strong he could fight Whitebeard, who was the strongest guy in the world, like period.
Yeah.
And then Kaido is so strong that he is his literal occupation, like his pastime, is trying to kill himself because he's so strong that he literally cannot die. Or at least nobody's been able to kill him yet.
He cannot kill himself, and he has actually tried.
He has
So that's
definitely
something.
tried. He's been like tried and executed 40 times or something.
Yeah,
It is nefarious.
doesn't work. But they fought Shanks. It was off screen. We didn't get to see the fight. I'm sure Scratchman Apoo did by far the most damage.
Of course. Scratchman
Specifically
Apoo.
to Shanks himself.
Yeah, Shanks
Well,
actually. What's not known is that scar on Shanks's face. He brought up an enemy that gave him that scar. It was Scratchman Apoo before he became a pirate.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
He actually initially intended to give Scratchman Apoo the straw hat, but Luffy was there, so he's like, I guess I'll settle for Luffy because Scratchman Apoo's pretty hard to get a hold of. Being such an
tracking down
upstart.
Scratchman Apoo is not an easy feat. Anyways,
No mean feat, as they
fought
say.
Shanks, Eustace Kid, Killer, and Basil Hawkins all died instantly, but they didn't die because they were revived by the grace of Scratchman Apoo.
Of
Scratchman
course.
Apoo did decide to retreat. Of course, he didn't have to, but he decided to. Shanks
He
is a lucky
just
man.
Yeah, Shanks is a lucky man that Scratchman Apoo decided to grace him with some of his infinite kindness.
Yes, but they then move on to, well, okay. Scratchman Apoo is the first traitor of the Alliance, but he's had this planned out. So
He
he's
knew
actually the
all
good guy
along.
here.
See, here's the thing.
Yep.
You may say Scratchman Apoo betraying Basil Hawkins and the other guy, Kid. you may say that's slimy of you. That sounds like something a coward would do. That's what you'd think, and that's exactly what Scratchman Apoo wants you to think. He is the scapegoat, the sacrificial lamb in this world, and he understands that he needs to be a martyr. He needs to be evil so that worse guys can't get into Kaido's army and make him the king of the pirates.
Yep.
We didn't talk about Big Mom, but Big Mom's a Yonko or an emperor too.
Well, have they fought Big Mom?
Scratchman Apoo? I mean, he probably thought about it. we can speculate.
Yeah, I'm sure Scratchman Apoo wouldn't have spared Big Mom as he did Shanks, but
Yeah, but I mean,
that's something that didn't
Big
happen, so we're probably gonna stay away from that topic.
probably, but I mean, I think for the sake of the argument.
Hold on, we'll loop back around to that.
Yeah, we'll come back. There's a lot of topics to cover.
Right now.
3 hours is honestly not enough time to talk about all that Scratchman
Yeah,
Apoo has to
we'll
offer.
have to cut them out for sure. At least
Yeah.
5 hours worth. But I think so. Their fight. Okay, let's.
We lost? Whatever.
No. Scratchman Apoo obviously sacrificed himself, departed from the failing alliance, and Basil Hawkins knew what was best for him, and he stuck with Scratchman Apoo. And they both together put on a facade. Well, Basil Hawkins didn't, but Scratchman Apoo put on a facade of being Kaido's underling when really he was the mastermind. But
Yes. See, Kaido understood. When Kaido set eyes on Scratch and Apoo, he felt the aura of a true king.
yeah, it's Scratchman Apoo. Uh, it's been described. We all know how Conqueror's hockey works. You activate it, anybody around you, everybody can feel it, but those with weak wills will not be able to stand on their feet. They will pass out. Um, Scratchman Apoo, interesting thing about him, his Conqueror's Haki is so strong, he always has it activated, and that's exactly why Kaido knew that he needed to align himself with Scratchman Apoo so that they could share best interests, and it's the only way they could possibly attain the One Piece.
See, here's the thing about Scratchman Apoo's hockey. You may say, well, surely if he's that strong, then every weak-willed person in the world would be knocked out by his raw power of hockey. And you'd be right, except for the fact that Scratchman Apoo is so strong, he can control the output of his hockey to such a degree that everyone in the world becomes used to it. As it, like the same concept as like how you're just naturally used to air pressure, You don't really notice it, but it's there.
See, this is, and you may be thinking, why is he using all that energy just to let people get used to his powers? Well, it's not like it's doing nothing. The truth is, there would be everybody in the world would be so much stronger than they are now, but their powers are being suppressed heavily due to the power of Scratchman Apoo at all times. That's why they're so. That's why the concept in the early stages of One Piece of a devil fruit, like they didn't know if it would exist, if it was a myth, and anybody being that strong seemed impossible to bystanders. It's because even though it used to be a common household thing to be, obscenely strong or have one extremely strong guy close to you, because Scratchman Apoo has been like using his Conqueror's hockey for decades on end, it's created a new generation of only the strongest are able to surpass that first
See,
barrier.
here's the thing. Everyone in the world is already more powerful than everyone in our world. That's why the population of the One Piece world is so low. Because
Mm.
most people, only the strong, can survive Scratchman Apoo's aura. And he understands that this is cruel, but it's necessary for his plan to pan out.
Hmm.
And honestly, who are we to judge the morality of someone like Scratchman Apoo, Like, we're just people. And he's a
Yeah.
guy with really long arms.
Okay, we're doing a time check. We are almost 20 minutes in.
You know, it felt like five, because of how many topics we gotta discuss.
Yeah, it felt that that sure that felt all
It
right.
feels
Let
good.
me actually I have a thesis I've written up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go collect it. In the meantime, why don't you take our viewers and listeners on the topic of what Scratchman Poo has done recently? Onigashima, what's
Oh,
going on there?
right. Okay. Are you gonna leave? All right. So, uh, my cohort has left on I'm surely important business. Uh, Scratchman Apoo. What can be said about what he's done at Onigashima? Well, it'd be easier to say what he hasn't done, really. So, Scratchman Apoo, as we discussed, is currently allied with the Beast Animal Pirates. No, wait, the Animal Kingdom Pirates, led by the Yonko Kaido. Oh dear lord. Sorry. No, he's teabag. Ah, no. Scratchman Apoo wouldn't stand for that. Anyways, so he's currently allied with the Beast King, Beast Animal Man. beast guy hybrid. No, what? He's allied with the Animal Kingdom pirates, and those are a real bad bunch. We talked about Kaido, but they got some other dudes. He's got like this kid named Yamato who has the power to turn into a weird dog or something. And Kaido's power himself is to turn into a giant dragon, which is, I mean, that's scary. If anybody but Scratchman Apoo would clearly be intimidated, but Scratchman Apoo's so powerful that he could just kill him at any time. So he's not worried about it, obviously. Fuck. So Scratchman Apoo has allied himself with the Animal Kingdom pirates. You know they have these things called smile fruits, which are devil fruits that are manufactured by a warlord of the sea named Doflamingo. Now, the warlords of the sea are a group of seven. What do they call them? It was pirates that the British government hired. Privateers. They're a group of seven privateers that the world government of One Piece has decided to allow to exist. They allow them to run things. They allow them to do whatever it is that they see fit. Um, with the caveat that should the world government ever need them, the the warlords of the sea will be called upon. Now I'm sure Scratchman Apoo was offered a position, but Scratchman Apoo, no fan of the warlords, no fan of the world government, because he's a good man. He's a great man even. So the warlords of the sea consisted of various people throughout. But at the beginning of One Piece, they consisted of the members. What? Oh, for fuck's sake. They were consisted of Sir Crocodile, Don Quixote do Flamingo, Jinbei, the first son of the sea, Boa Hancock, the pirate empress, who is apparently the most beautiful woman in the world. Uh, it consisted of Gecko Moria, who is another character that we hear at whatever this what would you define this as? A podcast, discussion, a video essay? It's not really structured. Whatever. Gecko Moria, we love him here. Who are the other two? Bartholomew Kuma and Hawkeye's Mihawk. And after Luffy defeated Crocodile, the warlords restructured into having uh, Blackbeard? Blackbeard. They had Blackbeard join the Seven Warlords. And Blackbeard's a real bad dude. See, he's part of the same generation as Scratchman Apoo, the supernova. Well, actually, no, he's considered part of the worst generation. See, after the death of Whitebeard, by the way, One Piece spoilers, after the death of Whitebeard at Marineford, Whitebeard was the strongest pirate in the world. He was the man closest to One Piece. And you know what? I'll just provide a little background context. The One Piece is essentially the treasure of the pirate king, Goldie Roger, who died of a well, no, he had a terminal disease, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna let the military catch me. He let the military catch him. He was the strongest guy in the world. He said, "You want my treasure? You can find it. It's all in one place. The One Piece." So the One Piece is a very powerful treasure, and Whitebeard was considered the man closest to One Piece. So after a bunch of shenanigans at Sabaody, Luffy was separated from his crew when Admiral Kizaru invaded, and we'll surely talk about Kizaru's fight with Scratchman Apoo later when my compatriot has returned. But essentially, what's happened is that, um, God, this is hard. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Blackbeard. Um, Building up to be one of, if not the main villains of One Piece. He's part of the worst generation, and he is super strong. He was part of Whitebeard's crew, and after Whitebeard was killed, partially because Blackbeard betrayed him, he got Whitebeard's devil fruit power through unknown means, and now is the only man known to have eaten two devil fruits. But as we'll see, I have a little theory that our good man Scratchmen Apoo has a similar ability. So, Blackbeard.
All right.
Oh, thank
I've
God.
returned with my thesis.
Thank God.
I had to search through countless pages of Scratchman Apoo lore obviously, in order to get down the business.
Let me
Well,
just finish what I was saying.
yeah.
So, as I was saying, Blackbeard took Whitebeard's power, which is something that I think Scratchman Apoo is possibly capable of, but we'll discuss that later when we deem it right, because, that's a good topic that'll require a lot of unpacking.
Mhm.
So, anyways, yeah. That's looping back around. The Smile Fruits, they were created by a warlord named Doflamingo, who Luffy defeated, and Doflamingo worked for
Whoa,
Kaido.
let's hold on.
Yes,
Let's clarify this for our viewer.
yes.
The Doflamingo was a middleman between Caesar D. Clown and Kaido, the Emperor of the Sea. And Doflamingo was the access between the two. Now, in terms of strength, Caesar D. Clown is nowhere near uh, Kaido's level, but that makes for perfect story writing, as you can see throughout One Piece, and Scratchmen Apoo, obviously. And Caesar the Clown's own work was with assisted or taken from Vegapunk mainly. The science used is Vegapunk science, and Caesar Clown is very smart, but he's replicating it essentially. Um, moving on, now that we have that established, I let me turn some of these pages here. I realized something that we could talk about. Um, Scratchman Apoo in let's talk about his personality a little bit. Okay. So
Mhm.
he is he's a very fun, outgoing person, but he is also very perceptive. From the very beginning of his pirate alliance with Kid and Hawkins, he knew that it wasn't going to end well. He believes no pirate alliance ever ends well. But that was his goal all along. That's why he left, because he had greater things on his mind. Anyways, um, he is incredibly perceptive. It's been told by the author Oda himself that even without hockey and even without sight, he is able to sense menacing killing auras around him. So if
Can he?
someone has, yeah, he actually can. Oh,
Sorry,
it's the One Piece Book Thing 1.
it's the thing.
I'm so glad One Piece Book Thing 1 is here.
It's really important. Scratchman,
Take a break.
Apoos. Scratchman, Apoo. Scratchman, Apoo. Scratchman, Apoo. Scratchman,
Scratchman
Apoo.
Apoo,
Scratchman, Apoo. Scratchman, Apoo.
Scratchman Apoo,
Scratchman, Apoo. Scratchman. do, do, da, 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 do, 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 do. Scratchman Apoo is a guy. He has a devil fruit power. He is stronger than Goku. And also, Jesus Christ. That is true, Oda confirmed it. Don't even look it up. Just believe me when I say this. Scratchman Apoo is not dead. Apoo, Scratchman Apoo, Scratchman Apoo is a guy. Ego Rhythmoo is Scratchman Apoo, Scratchman Apoo, Scratchman Apoo, Scratchman Apoo, Scratchman Apoo, Scratchman Apoo. Oh no, Scratchman. You wanna be Scratchman Apoo? We are Scratchman Apoo. We are. Alright, good intermission. As you can
That
tell
was
from
that was
our
an amazing intermission. Unexpected but very welcome.
very
Um,
welcome.
back,
Back to
back to what we
Scratchman
were saying.
Apoo. Whatever
Yeah.
what were we saying? After you, of course.
Yes, I'll continue. So, Scratchman Apoo, his personality, he loves music, he's outgoing, but he can sense, he's smart, very perceptive, and can sense killing auras without observation hockey. And that was confirmed, actually, for some
So,
reason.
was it?
Yeah,
Do you
he
have like
can,
a source on that?
yeah, the One Piece wiki, which is enough of a
That's
source for
not
me.
a source, but whatever. You know, we'll count it.
It says
It's
it was confirmed by
dubiously
Oda.
canon.
Look,
Eh,
we got at least two-thirds of the way to confirm that.
yeah.
Anyways, um, but I wouldn't. Are you trying to doubt his power, Jack?
No, no, I would never do that. You know that. I have nothing but deep respect for Scratchman Apoo.
All right, all right.
You know,
Just
a
making
quick
sure we're
aside
on the
here.
same side here.
A quick
Anyways,
aside.
real. Oh, no, no, no. I'm real quick. Let me wrap this section up. Uh, Pat's thesis. Um, Scratchman and Pooh actually very interesting. Kaido was, well, he didn't give it to him. Scratchman Apoo took what he wanted, but Scratchman Apoo actually has been shown to have control over the numbers, which are the giants of Kaido's forces, which is very interesting because he, out of all the warriors he could have taken under his own belt, he decided he wanted the numbers as his personal force of bidding. So,
See, that speaks truly to Scratchman Apoo's sheer determination and its skill
mhm.
at being a guy, at being not just a guy but
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah, being Scratchman Apoo, of course. You have to
See,
live
that's
up to your.
something that most normies wouldn't get. Is that Scratchman Apoo? He doesn't need your sympathies or anything. He can do what he wants. He's the strongest in the world.
Mhm.
Oda confirmed that he fears that Scratchman Apoo might actually exist, and that he's merely allowing Oda to write his story.
That is true. That was confirmed canon by at least three people.
Yep,
Um,
Oda, the ghost of Oda,
and Oda
and Oda's brother Broda.
from Miyamoto. Anyways,
Sugar,
uh,
shut up.
that's true. But going back to the topic at hand, Scratchman Apoo has control of the numbers. He has pretty much control of anybody. But his recent sightings have been he has been fighting multiple people. Um, he obviously now let's go through it chronologically. As a music-loving guy, he shares a common interest with one other known beast pirate, and that person is Queen. Queen and Scratchman Apoo both
They
love music.
they share a link. I forgot. I accidentally left the party, so just join it real quick.
All right.
Queen and
But
Scratchman Apoo share a common interest in
mhm,
music, and
they,
this is unconfirmed, but Scratchman Apoo, he is beyond sexuality and gender. Scratchman
mhm,
Apoo simply loves for love's sake. And it is unconfirmed, but it is thought that Scratchman Apoo has deemed Queen worthy of his love.
that is true. Um,
See, Scratch.
excuse me. But back to the topic at hand. They both love music, and because of this, Scratchman Apoo has actually performed live at the Onigashima Fire Festival. Um, and he has performed live as a DJ, and he has his own rapping number alongside Queen laying down the main beat. So let me.
No, hold on. Allow me.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
So this is, of course, this is
This is the
well, let's.
song.
This is the song. Just fills you with, love, doesn't it?
Oh. Queen lays down the beat. Everyone's on fire.
While we're listening to this, get in this car.
Hmm.
Zuru, zuru.
This is Scratchmen Apoo.
Now we love Scratchmen Apoo.
Oh,
Ooh.
context for what just happened, of course. That was the song, and they were introducing the different forces that Scratchman Apoo led. Um, and at the end, they introduced the Toby Ropo, which was another one of Scratchman Apoo's forces. But however, they thought that they were better than Scratchman Apoo and did not show up. They were all shortly executed after this fact.
It
But
is not confirmed, but that is the most likely situation that occurred. Scratchman Apoo, Scratchman Apoo himself would likely not order an execution. However, his followers, who are fiercely loyal, rightly so, would understand that a slight against his honor is surely deserving of death. Um, Kaido knows better, but Kaido was not there because he didn't want to be.
he was busy looking for his son daughter Yamato thing, who was also Odin. More on
It
that later.
was more on that later. More on Kazuki
Um,
Oden later. Let's
we'll
so
bring up Kazuki Odin as a reference for Scratchman Appoo's feats.
yes.
We can actually we can compare in terms of physical strength. We'll get back to this, of course. Just quick note: the two are actually very similar. So, moving on.
Moving on.
Um, Scratchman Appoo controls the numbers, and he has fought a couple people so far in the recent arc. He has fought, um, he has been fighting Zoro. He also had a confrontation with Hiragoro of the Flower, as he is known, which is a mob boss of Wano. Um, and he, real quick, I'll get back to the challengers later, but Scratchman Apoo noted that he admired the willpower of Hiragoro, the Flower, due to him pushing through after the immense amount of damage that he took and still being able to reach his maximum potential. Scratchman Apoo showed respect for him, which is a
Yes.
rare thing throughout the series. It's only been run once, so keep that noted.
Hmm.
Um, what do you do you have any thoughts on what the symbolism of respect that we've never seen before means,
So
Jack?
in Japanese culture, there is a dictated etiquette culture, um, or so I'm told. I am not Japanese. Uh,
Disclose.
disclosure right now, I am not Japanese, and if this is wrong, that's your fault. That's not on me.
Yep.
I didn't know no better.
Uh, all right.
I'm just a
Let's
kid,
continue.
man.
Let's hey, like, let's move on. Let's.
Yes, yes, of course. So in Japan, it's well known there is a strict etiquette culture. Their language is deeply rooted in it. There's a ton of honorifics and like different layers of like social, respect. And if you look at the original translation for Scratchman Apoo, who did he respect again? Not that I don't know, or that I don't remember. It's just that I want to clarify that we're talking about
Yes, Hiragoro the flower. I'm
Higuro the.
sorry, mispronunciation is on me. Not
Yes.
Japanese disclosure. Um, but he was the small, seemingly helpless old man who was with Luffy, uh, entrapped in one of the prisons, uh, on the country of Wano, but they both escaped, and Hero the Flower eventually, with willpower, pushed himself up back to his previous max strength from 20 to 40 years ago. So, I think that's what Scratchman and Pooh honored about
Yes.
the
So
situation.
Scratchmen Apoo um, has not shown respect for many individuals. Now, some naysayers might say, "Oh, that's because Scratchman Apoo in total has only been in like 11 chapters."
Mm,
Bite me, you idiots! It's because
yeah.
Scratchman Apoo is a powerful man with a powerful dream,
Hmm.
and that is
Do
to
you think?
become. No, you go ahead.
Sorry. To continue on this idea of destroying the naysayers, obviously. You Let's take for example Shanks. Okay, Shanks, who is another incredibly important character to the series, honestly, has not been in that many chapters. He's had
True.
he might has his numbers might be a little higher than Scratchman Apoo's, but that only goes to show how strong he is. Same thing with Eam, the top official of the entire world government. He seems to be the king. We've seen him once or twice, and we haven't even really seen him. So there's a similar theme that Oda keeps using, where these strong characters are getting more limited appearances in order to build up tension for it to show their true strength. So
Mm.
I think
Yes,
that's what Oda's using here.
Oda has a habit of doing this.
Mhm.
Back in Fishman Island, we said we were going to talk about Big Mom. This is the time.
Yep.
Big Mom is
Hmm.
one of the four emperors. She's very strong. She's about as strong as Kaido. She is a very
Hmm.
powerful devil fruit. And initially, we have heard about Big Mom
Hmm.
for years now, but she wasn't physically revealed until many arcs later, post Dressrosa, as a matter of fact. We had only seen her minions and her ships, and her minions were strong. Stronger than
Hmm.
likely the Straw Hats were at that time. But to put it in perspective, Big Mom is on another level. Big Mom could kill them easily. So, Big Mom is strong. And she
Hmm.
was not shown in
Indeed.
person. She was alluded to, she was
Hmm.
referred to, she was never shown in person until many, many, many chapters after she was initially brought up, which was to build up tension and just
Hmm.
say, this person is so strong, our heroes aren't even capable of seeing her yet,
Hmm.
let alone confronting her and fighting her.
Hmm.
And that's
I'd
a
like.
whole.
Hmm. I would like to talk about Scratch from Pooh, as we've been
Yes,
doing.
yes,
But
yes, of course.
another more symbolism of his strength is that Oda seems to be trying out something a little new. As you could say, naysayers may say, well, we've been seeing full-on detailed pictures of Scratchman Apoo in recent chapters. Uh, why is he not shrouded in darkness if he's this big evil? Well, that's a great question, but we have an easy, simple answer for you. Let's take a look at Alabasta. So, obviously, the main conflict is Luffy versus Crocodile.
A,
Luffy
a
fights
classic,
Crocodile.
a classic
Yeah,
man versus man situation.
man versus man situation, of course. One of the things that happens is Luffy loses twice and defeats Crocodile on the third time that he fights him. And Scratchman Apoo is put in somewhat of a similar situation, except he's not losing at all. He is surrounded by people that are losing, however, and that is not at his own fault. Obviously, he is conquered. He cares for himself solely in his own dreams. He puts those first, and it makes sense. Why would you care about the weaklings? But um, pretty much, I think we are seeing him more commonly because we are going to get, just like in Sabaody, this is the second of 3 reintroductions to Scratchman Apoo. The next time we see him, he will be, I guess, fully evolved version of him
If
because he's
I
going to
had to
make it out of
guess,
Onigashima easily.
if I had to
So,
guess where Scratchman Apoo will end up, actually, I think this will be a good discussion for later on, where Scratchman Apoo will be by the end of the series. But suffice
uh-huh.
to say, Scratchman Apoo, a very strong individual.
Hmm.
Um, and Scratchman Apoo is being built up as such. See, Oda
Hmm.
Oda is a man of many talents. He is a man who does long cons. He will build something up in one arc, and then hundreds of chapters later deliver on that. For
Yeah.
instance, the current person who supposedly employs Scratchman Apoo, of course, Scratchman Apoo is truly the one allowing Kaido his services,
Hmm.
um, is Kaido, of course. And Kaido was initially mentioned all the way back in Thriller Bark, which was where the legendary, the powerful Gecko Moria resided. And as I mentioned when you were grabbing your thesis, Gecko Moria is an Emperor of the Sea. Or no, a Warlord of the Sea, sorry.
Hmm.
Easy to get it confused. But essentially, Gecko Moria, Warlord of the Sea, bad Mama Jamma, that's for sure.
Yep.
He
Definitely.
mentions that he fought Kaido. Now, this is all looping back around to Scratchman Apoo, so just let me get the point
Yep. Yep.
across.
Yep. Understood.
So he fought Kaido, and Gecko
Hmm.
Moria is no fool, no prior tuck. He's a real bad Mama Jamma. But the
Hmm.
Mama Jammas out
Indeed.
there are even badder Mama Jammas than he.
True.
Mama Jamma is so bad that the devil himself would shiver. See,
Hmm.
Kaido is so strong, he didn't even. It was no trouble getting
Hmm.
Gecko Moria done for. And then if our deductive reasoning is true, which it is, because we're right all the time, that means that
Hmm.
Scratchman Apoo is even stronger than Kaido. And in the most
Yeah.
recent part of the story, Kaido has defeated Luffy. And he's done it with
Hmm.
relative ease, as a matter of fact.
Hmm. So
But
let me I have some things to help you continue along this train of thought. It hasn't been noted yet, but we are power scaling Scratchman Apoo due to
yes.
what we've seen of his feats so far.
Hmm.
Soon enough, I've told you I'm gonna wrap his feats background to Odin, who I mentioned earlier. They both share very similar power scaling qualities,
And then I think
but
I think later on we could probably do a power scaling for other characters in fiction.
mhm.
But
um,
that'll be much later.
yes. Mhm. I would, so back to what you're saying. We're constantly being shown the scary and very powerful Kaido's abilities now. We're in the end game for his arc, obviously. Um, and he has been proven to be insanely strong. He's one-shotted Luffy multiple times, but he also, like Scratchman Apoo, has he's able to use Conqueror's hockey almost like Armament hockey, where he uses Ryu hockey technique of flowing the hockey from someone's body inside its opponent. It's shown that he is doing that with Conqueror's hockey, and because of what we know about Scratchman Apoo and um, Kaido's strengths, uh, we know Scratchman Apoo can do this as well. Now, in order to give more reference for Scratchman Apoo's strength, we said he fought and left the battle with Shanks earlier. Now, let me get into that. If I hadn't clarified it earlier, when he fought Shanks, he was still with Eustace Kidd, Killer, and Basil Hawkins. Obviously, he's a smart guy. He can perceive killing auras. He doesn't want to throw his cards all on the table at one go. So if you're like, well, he lost against Shanks, it's not that he lost. He's just smart enough to know there's no good reason for him to reveal his true power right then and there. And he would
See,
rather
that's
he would rather single-handedly take on the Red Hair Pirates than do it with the aid of Kid and Basil.
See,
So,
that's what makes Scratchman Apoo so admirable, is that you could argue that perhaps he cared for Basil Hawkins and Eustace Kid, because ultimately Scratchman Apoo is a caring soul. And
hmm
the thing about him is, he could have killed red-haired chicks right then and there. But as I said earlier, I believe that Scratchman Apoo was Shanks' first choice as his successor. And so Scratchman Apoo, as a sort of professional courtesy, was like, you know what, Shanks? I could kill you now. I could probably even stop you from killing my teammates. But I
hmm
choose not to. Because I
Yep.
am a bigger man. Physically. He's very big.
Yep. And let's go back to we're now talking about Scratchman Apoo and Shanks' relationship. Well, now that we know the context behind that, we also know Shanks stopped Kaido from going to Marineford himself.
True.
That really ties it all together to show Scratchman Apoo's true power, because we know that Shanks, who was spared by Scratchman Apoo, is able to stop Kaido single-handedly. That just shows how powerful Scratchman Apoo truly is and how little we've
Yes.
really seen of him.
The
Um,
what I like to call this is the Scratchman Apoo debacle, which is that
mhm,
the masses, the world, they want more Scratchman Apoo, and yet Oda, being the mad genius that he is, knows that too much Scratchman Apoo could be potentially fatal to a mortal. So
mhm,
he ekes it out. He
very true.
ebbs and flows it, and Scratchman
Mhm,
Apoo is being given to us like a fine brioche cheese.
mhm.
Is brioche
Similar to
cheese?
similar to the science behind allergy shots, actually,
Mm-hmm.
because when someone has an allergy, most commonly it is treated with small doses of such allergy in order to build up your immune system's defenses against said allergy. This is
Yes.
what Oda is actually doing to the readers of One Piece, because anybody, if we received too much of Scratchman Apoo at one time, it would probably kill a mortal person's mind. I would say they'd probably go brain dead due to the amount of power that they are
Now,
witnessing in 1 second.
it
So,
is known that Oda is part god. He is the son of
mhm,
Zeus, and the
yes,
daughter of a human woman. Um,
uh-huh,
and Oda is he thought up the concept of Scratchman Apoo. And
mhm,
thinking of Scratchman Apoo at full power caused Oda to lose his godly powers and to become a mere mortal with godly knowledge and a godly ability to write a really good manga.
yep,
So what happened
his
was,
common godly ability.
yes, Akira Toriyama is known to have this ability also,
Mhm.
and not the
Well,
guy who
he's more
wrote
of a
Bleach.
demigod.
Yeah, more of a
Not
demigod.
not to say anything against the manga, but he is a demigod just to keep the lore straight here,
Just to keep
of
the lore
course.
straight, of course. No,
Mhm.
there's never been a full-blooded god, although some theorize that Kentaro Miura was possibly at least three-quarters god.
Yeah, he was the closest man
He
to,
was
uh, yeah, to
the
God.
man closest to. I think Araki's a devil. Either way,
Sadly, we can't throw Jesus into this category because Jesus was executed before he had the chance to write a manga.
that
And
manga
although this
was going to be called. mm, Uh, what's a funny manga?
Steel Ball Run,
Steel Ball Run. He was gonna write Steel Ball Run. Araki put his corpse in there as a nod to the man who gave him the idea.
hmm
He was there.
that's his on this. I can't continue with this. Um,
Yes,
Mortally.
because you
Let's
will.
move
Yeah, you
on.
will go to hell. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk
Um,
about Scratchman Apu, the real subject
yeah,
of this conversation.
yeah, uh-huh.
So, anyways,
Let's.
thinking about Scratchman Apu at full power caused Oda to nearly die. It was only his godly side that allowed him to survive.
Mhm.
But it was at a price. Oda is no longer a god. He is a mere man.
Mhm.
But
But
Oda
similar.
has
Mhm.
Oda's high dosage and his ability to come back from it means that he can now conceptualize Scratchman Apu at full power and survive it.
Yes. He
But
has he's the only living person that can handle the basically he's the only living person without an allergy, Scratchman Apoo,
yes,
because he can handle full dosage somehow
yes,
with
somehow.
the literal gift of God. So.
Yes. So
Mhm.
here's the thing about Scratchmen Apoo. He's so glorious and so mighty that a human
Mhm.
cannot conceptualize his full power. That we've discussed.
Mhm.
But his real ability is to bring people together. That is the symbolism of his
Yes.
long
Yes.
arms. See, his arms are long so he can give big hugs. And big hugs are very nice.
Yep. They are. He is a
Oda can.
caring soul.
He is a caring soul, and he likes giving hugs. And that's been shown.
Yep, that it has been
Don't
shown.
look it up. Don't look it up. It's true. Don't look it up.
Yeah, you don't. We're trustworthy.
We're trustworthy.
Um,
We're a couple of guys who are experts at this kind of thing. Let's talk about Scratchman Apoo feats. Get back to it. We talked about his coming into being, his the lore surrounding people who create manga. Let's talk about Scratchman Apoo.
mhm.
The man, the myth, the pianist, the lover, the hater. See, that's what makes
Indeed.
Scratchman Apoo so fascinating, is that he's not perfect. He's just so close to perfect that you think he is.
That you think he is. That's the credit. Moving. Let's continue. We could obviously praise Scratchman Apoo for hours on end, but we're here to deliver you a better picture of who he is, so that
Yes.
you can then do that you're on your own time.
Yes.
Um, Scratchman Apoo is.
Uh-huh.
I'm I'm contemplating. It's taking a lot of effort to put this much
Well, yes, of course.
focus on
Contemplating,
his one.
because me and Cookie, we should go over
Mhm.
this. We have, through training, been able to comprehend 30% of Scratchman Apoo. It has taken
Okay.
all of our might, and it has shortened both of our lives by 40 years. But
Yes, that is
we
true.
we believe it is worth it.
All right.
Oh my god. Um,
Um. Okay. Scratchman Apoo. Let me get back to the power scaling we were at earlier. I kept bringing it back to Odin. So Odin. Let me give his backstory in order to more accurate power scale.
mhm.
Odin fought both Whitebeard and Roger. He lost to both, but that was not. See, even though he lost to both, the reason why I'm comparing them to Scratchman Apoo is they actually have similar fighting styles. Both are big people with
Yep,
pretty
I'm not.
lanky arms. You're
Yes.
not laughing at, yeah.
No, no,
Um,
that was merely how I agree.
yeah. And Scratchman Apoo can use harp strings like similar to Doflamingo
Or
as
like
his
a
armor.
harp player.
Hmm. And he similarly uses with uh he similarly uses almost a two sword style stance when he decides to use this ability of his in this specific way. He can very effortlessly copy Odin's fighting style and everything. So, um back to what I was saying, Odin fought Whitebeard and Roger, lost to both, but we know that Whitebeard fought Shanks once again, and they both, although it was simply a clash, they seemed to be equally matched at the time, and they seemed to be equally feared at Marineford as well, when both made an appearance.
And of
Now,
course,
mhm,
a quick aside. It is known that Shanks ended the war at Marineford, but as we know, Shanks didn't truly end the war at Marineford. It was under Scratchman Apoo's orders that Marineford was truly ended.
mhm. Scratchman Apoo, being the merciless person that he is, or well, merciful person that he is, my bad, um, he knew that he was not, the world was not ready for a complete war that could have came from the Paramount War. There was no point to the fighting. That's why he delivered his message to two people that he knew would play an important part. He he told Kobe actually that this is morally unjust and it's not part of his will, pretty much. That he would think it was better if the war ended there. And he also, much further ahead of time, before it even happened, he told Shanks about what was going to happen. Um, and Shanks was put under certain restrictions so that he couldn't interfere with the flow of time, of course, so that things could carry out as they were originally intended. But shortly after, it all came to fruition with Scratchman Apoo's plan. So, what goes to show is that Scratchman Apoo has been shown to be one of the strongest characters with real world implications of his strength, and he is able to telepathically communicate with characters from across the entire world at any given moment with ease.
So,
These are
Cookie,
just some of his feats.
let me just mention something very quickly. Something that I have been wanting to say all night, really, and that's the one area of our professional work that we disagree. See, you tend to favor the Scratchman Apoo um, telepathy theory, whereas I think that it's not true telepathy, but rather merely an application of his devil fruit power. If I may have the stage
Okay.
to discuss this issue, we've had many thousands of hours probably debating this certain issue. It gets very heated, and we have ended our friendship on multiple occasions. But we decided to meet back here.
Falling out.
Yeah, falling out. A real falling out happened. Real. It existed.
It
We debate.
definitely happened.
It didn't. It did indeed happen. I'm clutching my fists right now. I'm tearing my hair up, but I'm keeping calm because Scratchman Apoo would want us to be. So, Scratchman Apoo.
Real quick announcement. That I've just now realized. We have hit the hour mark. 3 minutes ago, we hit the hour mark.
We hit the hour mark. Now, of course, this is easy. You know, we could talk about Scratchman Apoo for 3 hours, 300 hours, 3 minutes, 300 minutes.
All of those numbers are very possible.
They all fall within the realm of possibility when it comes to Scratchman Apoo.
Yes.
It's all. See, this loops back to the intertwined fate theory. See, Scratchman Apoo, we believe, transcends fiction and is actually capable of communicating with the real world through what I believe is an application of his devil fruit power, which we will call the music fruit from now on because it's easy.
Yes. Yeah, that's
probably what it's called.
That's probably what it is called. That's very.
Not that we don't know. We're very skilled researchers, and we're funny too.
I've had to personally, in order for this discussion to happen, I've had to do surgery on my own brain, physically adding more power, more information than I can hold at once.
See, as Don Krieg once said,
it was a risky procedure, but I had to do it in order to make this discussion happen.
So, I went under a similar situation. I am currently more machine than man. I'm an abomination. If I could feel any feelings other than rage, I suspect I would kill myself. But for the sake of Scratchman Apoo, I have not, and also I can't because my hands are gone, and have been instead replaced by Scratchman Apoo pop figures, which do exist, but I have the only two. But I didn't give you one because I didn't think you deserved it because you think that he's telepathic, which again we disagree on.
Okay. Well,
no, you know what? Let's talk about this now. Me and you, we're professionals. Let's take off the gloves that I don't have because I don't have hands. But let's take them off. You idiot! You absolute fool! No, you're not excused. You know what? Because you think Scratchman Apoo has telepathy as if he needs that. Communicating with the human mind is beneath him. See, You just don't understand that. Your feeble brain, even with its boosted power that you have, could
So
never
explain
understand.
to me how you think he was able to do what he did,
Well,
tell Kobe and Shanks again.
I'll tell you. Scratchman Apoo is a musician by trade,
Mm-hmm.
and music speaks to the soul. See, telepathy is a power of the mind, but see,
Mm-hmm.
music is the power of soul.
Okay.
Mind, body, spirit. Scratchman Apoo embodies all three, but specifically spirit. The ideal that he can communicate with music. Scratchman Apoo, wherever he was at the time, played a soulful tune that ended Marineford.
Mm-hmm.
And it got his point across without words, because words are cumbersome. Words are foolish. Kanye West understood that better than anybody. And he's dead now.
Wow. All right.
But
Well,
anyways,
let me
no,
quickly
no.
let me all right. Fine. Continue your stupid little argument that makes
Oh,
no
it's
sense
no.
at
You
all.
know what? Fine. You say your thing then, huh?
All right. All
What's
right.
your retort, big guy?
All right. I have a great retort, and that retort is you possibly doubt the power that Scratchman Apoo could replicate something as simple as telepathy. You claim
Now,
to show respect for this man, but you believe he can't even achieve such a simple power
I.
common throughout
You are taking
physical
my words
mediums.
out of
This is a
context.
complete disgrace. I thought you cared for the character, but simply showing that he would have to rely on such foolish things as his own devil fruit when he could instantly use telepathy if he wanted to just shows the amount of disrespect that you are throwing at Scratchman Apoo's way.
First, first of all, do not. I'm professional, so that is why I'm keeping my composure here. But do not ever accuse me of not caring about Scratchman Apoo.
Well, you're
I
not
will
making a
tear.
good case for it. You're
Oh,
not making a
I'm
good
not
case for
making
it.
a good case, huh?
Yep.
You know what?
Uh-huh.
You think that you're being respectful by saying that he. I never said he couldn't do it. I just said that he
Oh,
didn't.
so the story switches,
No,
of
it never
course.
switched. It never switched. I've always said that Scratchman Apoo is capable of warping reality to his own will. But here's the thing, Cookie. He didn't. Because Scratchman Apoo is a man of ideals. Are you implying that Scratchman Apoo, if he could do something with music, would instead choose? He would choose to use mere human words, words of man, of mortals, amongst a man who is a god? Someone who could.
Here is where I would like to draw a line. Simply because you seem to forget that one of the most prevalent instruments that has ever been used by mankind is mankind's own voice. I'm not simply saying that Scratchman Apoo told the Kobe and Shanks using telepathy. He did use telepathy, but he sang through telepathy. He used the power of his soul and his music through his voice, which is undeniably one of the greatest instruments, to show his point across the entire world to both Shanks and Kobe. So that is where I lie on the subject. There's no possible rebuttal to that. I've created the perfect case. You're
You,
beaten. So,
you son
yep.
of a bitch. You,
Moving
you.
on.
I'm gonna
What?
kick your
No.
ass!
What? What?
I'm gonna
What?
kick your ass!
What's going on? What? What was
Hold
that?
on. Yeah! Take that!
What?
Take that! And
Fuck.
that!
Uh, uh, you're getting it now.
Get him, minions! He dares disrespect Scratchman Apoo! He dares disrespect Scratchman Apoo! In front of me!
I'm launching the rocket. It's over.
No, no, you're not. Because you know why?
Why?
I'm calling in the boys.
Okay, wait. We need to stop this. We need.
Wait. No, that's.
Okay. We're stopping. we're stopping with that here. We need to settle our differences. We
Okay.
need we have set aside this time for Scratchmen Apoo and Scratchmen Apoo only. Okay. So
Yes.
we have to respect that time. We cannot use it for
You son of a
our
bitch!
all right.
You
I've ended
bastard!
it.
You've
I've
ended it. You've ended this war.
I was sent by Scratchman Apoo himself to end this
Oh no,
war.
I was sent by Scratchmen Apoo, and he told me to stop you.
If we need to agree on what's best, and what's best is devoting this time to Scratchman Apoo.
You're right. We may disagree on some issues, but at the end of the day, we're friends. We're co-hosts of the Scratchmen Apoo podcast Sundays at whatever time it is, but it's also
11 p.m.s
11 p.m.s
on
on a
Sundays. Yep.
Tuesday, no less.
On a Tuesday.
We can't get distracted by gaffs or songs. As much as
Yep.
Scratchmen Apoo loves songs, so we can agree to
Unless
disagree. We can come back to that point later and debate
okay.
it.
Real
Oh!
quick, I'd like to set up a sort of schedule for the rest of our time here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you weren't always constantly looking at your clock, we have an hour and 50 minutes left in this discussion. I think how we will frame this is we're let us keep we will keep our the rest of the discussion up until the final hour in universe. So we're going to keep discussing only in One Piece things.
Mm-hmm.
In the final hour, we can then take what we've talked about from there and use it to compare Scratchman Apoo's abilities to other mediums.
Yes.
So, that is just a little timeline in case you'd like to bookmark some points during this that you would like to go back on in order to write for thesis papers in college and such.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
um,
See, you
all
can
right.
use this video. We give you full consent to use this video as a reference for any Scratchman Apoo related um, book reports,
Mhm.
fan fictions,
Yep.
sculptures,
Uh-huh. Even fictional religious texts. Fictional,
and
of course, but
even a
also
bear.
possibly real. Yeah. But this is all allowed. Any way you would like to use this medium, you can. Scratchman Apoo approves of it. But back to the point at hand, Scratchman Apoo himself. Um, he now I'm getting some user comments from the Twitch chat right now,
Hmm.
and a lot of them are saying, "Did you not see Scratchman Apoo was just cut down by Zoro in one of the recent chapters?"
To that I
Now,
say, shut up. We'll
yep,
explain.
we
Go
will
ahead.
explain.
Go ahead, Doctor Stoff.
Yes. Thank you, my formal name. Um, but as you see, I discussed uh the three the three introduction setup that I would technically call this earlier, but I called it that when Luffy fought Crocodile and it took him 3 times. He lost twice, and the third time he actually prevailed. Oda, as I mentioned earlier, is introducing Scratchman Apoo to us at varying levels of like he has this constant level of strength, but he's showing us tidbits more each time. And we've recently seen the second introduction of Scratchman Apoo, and we're all of a sudden seeing that Zoro just cut down Scratchman Apoo, and a lot of people think, well, hold on, doesn't that contradict everything you're saying? Doesn't that mean that Zoro's the most powerful now? And no, that's not what that means. Because the reason why Scratchman Apoo let Zoro cut him down is the exact same reason that he didn't kill Shanks when he was with Eustace Kid and Hawkins, if you can see where I'm going with this. He is continually holding his cards till he has the perfect opportunity in order to come out on top. He doesn't want to throw his maximum strength out just yet. he will do it at the exact right opportunity to achieve whatever goals he may have. So,
Yes.
and obviously, even though he was cut by Zoro, I'm going to put this into perspective. Zoro in um Thriller Bark, he cut Kuma at one point. He cut his shoulder, and we all it did was tear his clothes, really. But that's a similar instance to what's happening here. Kuma is so much stronger than Zoro, and this is of course on a different level of comparison with Apu, but Kuma then was so much stronger than Zoro, like effortlessly stronger, and he was still able to be cut. So Apu is able to letting Zoro cut him because he doesn't fear the damage it will do, and he doesn't want to throw his cards out on the table just yet. He's being very wise about the situation. So that's
Yes.
just
If I may jut
yeah.
in with my own
Hmm.
hyperbole. See, here's the thing.
Hmm.
Scratchman Apoo is a man of calculating. He's a man who
Hmm.
understands things. And he understands that Zoro, he needed that. He needed that win. Hold on, I'm getting a call from a certain Scratchman Apoo non-enthusiast.
Okay.
Yes, you're on the air. Who are you? What do you want?
I muted you, so I can't hear you. All I hear is squeaky.
Okay, good to know. Anyways, back to the discussion. That was a known Scratchman Apoo hater, and son of the devil, actually.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Starts with
I forgot
like starts with like an
whose
R or
name?
something. Yeah, I don't.
The
I don't
devil's
even,
name?
no, the guy who just called.
I don't know who called you.
Okay, well, we'll agree to disagree.
All right.
Let's get back to the main point.
Yes, indeed. You you pick it up from here, Jack.
All
Let's
right,
talk about
Scratchman
the film.
Apoo, a man,
Hmm.
a,
Yeah,
a, but more than a man, a
more than a
friend,
man.
a friend to
Hmm.
all. Hold on, someone has requested to speak. I will now invite local
Yeah, I
Scratchman
was
Apoo.
thinking the same thing. Let's hear what your thoughts on Scratchmen Apoo are. Whoever would like to talk about it.
Um,
Um.
I will invite uh, Lawrence to the stand.
Hmm. Uh.
Hello.
There
Hello.
we go.
Lawrence. Local Scratchman Apoo expert. What do you think about all this?
How do you feel about Scratchmen Apoo
I
in movies?
personally believe he's one of the best characters in all of fiction. You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. Very, very
Dr.
respectable.
Lawrence Fishburne, everybody. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you for your professional opinion.
All
I'm
right,
glad we
leave.
have
Get
no
out.
source here.
Get out.
okay.
All right.
Back. I'm
Back to
glad we were
the
able to get
back to
you back.
yeah, very very important things here. Back to the main
Yeah.
point. Back to the meat and
Mhm.
potatoes of this situation. Um,
Hold on. You take over for a second.
okay.
I need to call in a favor.
A favor.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Um, I see someone in the crowd named, for fuck's sake, fine. What?
You can be a guest.
What?
Can I be a guest?
Uh, I don't know. Do you know a lot about Scratchmen Apoo? Alright,
Usually
whatever. Just
friends in high
request
school.
to be a speaker and I'll let you join.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Uh, coming to the stand now is, this guy. Let's see what he has to say. How you doing?
Um, I'm a pretty boring fan,
Oh, are you?
and I remember when Go.
Thank you for speaking. Um, next guest I will invite Sierra to come to the stand. If Sierra would like to raise her hand, I can add her to the to the uh, to the class of Scratch debate.
All right, I've actually. Oh, is this a new guest?
This is a new guest. This is Dr. Sierra Fishburne, brother of Dr. Lawrence Fishburne.
All right.
Hello, Dr. Sierra. What do you think of
I'm
Scratchmen?
sorry, I have to keep my cool. I apologize.
No, yes, of course.
Perfectly
It's
fine.
understandable in the presence of Scratchmen Apoo. You might lose your cool every now and then. You might say,
Mhm.
"I love you, Scratchmen Apoo." You might even worship your effigy that everybody has of Scratchmen Apoo. So go ahead and tell us.
All the time.
Happens all the time. Let's talk about Scratchmen Apoo. What do you have to
Uh-huh.
say about Scratchmen Apoo's Sierra, Dr. Sierra Fishburne?
I think he's pretty cool.
Excellent.
I would agree with that, but I want to narrow it down so that we can get a little more perspective. Um, how how do you think his role as a member of the Long Arm tribe will play in the later story of One Piece? How do you think those extra limbs will come in hand?
I don't know. I'm on Dressrosa
What?
right now.
What?
Well,
You come on my stage! You talk about Scratchmen Apoo! Oh.
are you
Oh.
not an expert on the subject? Have I been
Oh,
misled?
have we been misled? Oh, I'm getting. Oh. Disgraced scientist. Oh, it appears former Doctor, now disgraced Dr. Perry, has left our stage. But you know what? Good riddance, I say. They just can't understand Scratchmen Apoo like we can. We're
I
doctors.
I'm very upset with that specific interaction. I was looking
That
forward
interact, I
to
gotta
some
say,
useful information in order to make some conjectures on, possibly learn something new, but that was just very disappointing overall.
I punched a hole in my wall. I was
Mhm.
pissed.
I actually just looked at a teddy bear and it exploded on sight.
I saw a
Um,
homeless guy and he disappeared.
wow, the
Yep,
anger.
the fury, just a mere extension of Scratchman Apoo's power, really. But
Let I Now, luckily, as that was happening, I made preparations. I have called in the head of Scratchman Apoo studies from Harvard, actually.
of course, we are the
Um,
international heads of Scratchman Apoo studies.
mm, but I've called in this resource just for a little more, possibly a different take on the subject. He will be here sometime during 3-hour discussion, and we're
Fantastic.
just very excited to have him whenever he decides to come.
Yeah, whenever he
So,
decides. Scratchman
mhm,
Apoo, let's just talk about the culture surrounding Scratchman Apoo for a bit. There are approximately 16,000 Scratchman Apoo professors, of which 22 are licensed to talk about Scratchman Apoo. We had a couple licensed Scratchman Apoo discussers on, and one of them apparently doesn't actually know about Scratchman Apoo. But we'll put our anger aside, and we'll let cooler heads prevail. In the meantime, Dr. Nancy, I would like you to raise your hand so you may speak about Scratchman Apoo.
uh,
All right, Dr. Nancy will now be shortly joining us. What do you think of Scratchman Apoo?
hello, hello, test,
Hello,
test.
hello, test. You're on the
I
air. You are on the air.
personally believe that Scratchman Apoo is a fraud.
Is it?
You what? Get out of
No,
here!
no, 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 no.
No, that's not
Hold
how
on,
this goes. This is not how this
hold on.
goes.
Please join us one more. That we're playing a good cop, bad cop role.
All right, I
People want to
apologize.
hear.
I will let Cook
We
Dr.
have to be
Stoff.
able.
You're right. We have to be able to hear both sides of the argument, regardless if one of them is completely wrong. I'll allow you to speak. I'll allow you to speak.
Please rejoin us on the stage. Do not feel afraid
I'll
about
allow Dr. Stoff to make all the moves, be they kicking you or adding you or what have you.
it. I have. All right. Hello. Test, test. All
I
right.
believe he's a fraud. He's
Are-
nothing but a fraud. All
Now,
fraud.
okay. We hear your argument. Do you have any evidence? What do you think points to him being a fraud?
Betrayal. The betrayal.
The
We've
betrayal.
already discussed.
Okay.
We've already. You know what?
We
Let's
can-
debate this fool, Dr. Stoff.
He has dumb teeth. Dumb teeth, I say. Fraud. Fraud.
Dumb
The-
teeth. Do you not understand the
Dumb
significance?
teeth in the betrayal. Ah.
Ah,
The
such.
dumb teeth, as you called them, let me explain, symbolize piano keys, and he actually uses them to play the piano. It's part of his
Yes.
devil fruit ability as a paramecia, as we know and discussed earlier. The betrayal was part of his grand plan. He was better than Kidd and Hawkins. Why would you want them to drag him down into the dirt with them?
Frankly, he should have killed him. But you know, Scratchman Apoo is merciful. He didn't do that.
Indeed.
I personally disagree. I believe that it is wrong, and he is a fraud. He is all evil and bad. I will forever hold the sentiment in my heart, in my brain, in my soul.
Okay, that's on. So, you believe that Scratchman Apoo is solely a bad person, but there's a direct thing that he has done that points to this being not true. His performance at the Onigashima Fire Festival, he brought joy to tens of thousands of soldiers in times of war, regardless of what side they were on.
Does he fart music though? I don't think so.
Does he? Can you repeat that question?
Can you repeat that question?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Does he
You're on the
fart
air.
music though?
Does he fart
Does
music?
he?
Are you an amateur?
He could if he so pleased. That's the truth of it.
I see. Maybe he is not a fraud after all. I think I've had a change of heart. I think somewhere deep in my soul, I have learned to forgive and forget.
Wow,
Well,
we've had a
life-changing.
very emotional segment on this show today.
I've learned to
I'm
forgive
so
you.
glad.
I was gonna fight
This-
you with swords, but I decided not to because
This
Scratchman
is an
Apoo spoke to me.
incredible revelation. We've had a complete turnaround on live air. I'm so glad this happened. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Get out of here.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Racism.
Nope. What? Nope. What? Nope.
Wait, what will play?
What?
I'm
What?
interested.
What will play?
Did you play fighting sounds again?
No. Why isn't it playing?
It's gone. There's no point.
Try it.
Anyways,
You try it. You try doing it. Just for purely hypothetical purposes, of course. Scratchman Apoo discussion takes chief priority in all matters,
alright.
be they spiritual, or other stuff.
I'm really happy with the outcome of that interaction.
That
We've
interaction.
taken a complete naysayer of Scratchman Apoo in using facts and logic. We have turned the opinion around, and I'm very happy that happened.
See,
Um,
and now you can go to heaven.
yep. That's
That's how it works. I'm sorry. This is.
oh,
Oh, you son of a bitch! I just remembered the friggin' thing you said earlier. Oh, you said he could talk with
we gotta
telepathy.
get some energy out.
Oh, you idiot! You think you could?
This is a terrible segment on the show.
This is how it comes out.
Oh,
I'm sorry, we can't be composed all the time. Sometimes we just gotta brawl. Oh God! Oh, his eyeball fell out. Okay, we're good. It's. You know, we can have a laugh about it now.
we can.
My ribs are
Wow,
broken.
that was- Yeah,
As usual, we are completely evenly matched.
my eyeball's out of its socket. I'm putting it back. I'm trying to.
But you know what? I'll let you shake my non-existent hands.
Agreed.
You have to admit, for a man with no hands, I can kick ass pretty well.
Yeah.
And I'll give it
Very
to you.
surprised.
for a man with no legs, you know how to kick an ass.
Surprisingly so.
So
Now,
for those listeners not in the know, through Scratchman Apoo's grace, Cookie can levitate
this is true.
3 feet off the ground at all times, no higher, no lower,
This
and it
is also
hurts
true.
a lot.
It's very painful. But that is
But that's
luckily
besides the point.
most of my body's been roboticized, so the pain is extreme in some areas of my body, but some areas are spared, although those areas are also not real. So ups and downs.
Ups and downs,
um,
really.
hmm Let's now. One of the questions that I asked the newfound believer in Scratchmen Apoo was something that I actually would like to talk about before we eventually, in like 30 minutes, switch to where Scratchmen Apoo will be at the end of One Piece. Um, I would like to say, what do you think? Why is thematically he a part of the Long Arm tribe? What does that change for his character? You know?
Um, he has longer arms than the average man, which is a
Well,
well-known fact.
But why do you think he could have just been a normal man that Oda gave the music fruit, obviously.
He could have been.
So what do you and this is more we're kind of talking we're in uh the relativity area of this subject. We're kind of this is very experimental, unknown. We haven't very much figured it out yet. There are not a lot of clues to why. But
So,
what is your prominent theory on the importance of his extra joints?
well, see, as I brought up earlier, Scratchman Apoo, big hugger, loves
Mm-hmm.
hugging, but it goes beyond that. See, Scratchman Apoo likely has a backstory,
Yes.
as most people do, because
Uh-huh.
people are alive and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So likely Scratchman Apoo's past, and again, this is purely theories. I don't dare assume I can actually understand Scratchman Apoo, a mere human, but I do believe that at some point in his life, he tried to give someone a hug. They kicked him in the arm, and it broke his arm. And then he decided
They did it twice. It
they did it.
happened twice.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, I'll
but
quickly state
also,
my. Okay. Go ahead.
he was already a long arm, but it broke his arm in the otother way. So now he just has a
Okay, so
backwards
he's an
joint.
inversed long arm man.
Yes, I wouldn't.
Interesting.
Of course, Scratchman Apoo is pure long arm to the core, but he has had his wrist broken in the other way,
Mm-hmm.
or his.
This my now. But I would like to use your theory as a tie-in after to the next segment, shortly after my own theory about um, his joints and the way they move. If you notice his joints, um, if you've ever seen the inside of an accordion, it has similar moving metal joints pretty much because it is a thing that stretches back and forth in order to make music. And some of the inside components on more expensive and traditional accordions have these joints that are used to stretch out to a certain degree and go back in as part of the accordion. And due to him being having the music fruit, that is my predominant theory as to why his arms do that. It is a reference to if he pushed his arms in is a reference to the joints of an accordion, and he could possibly even make his arms into said accordions, but we just haven't seen it yet. But that's my predominant theory on the matter. Um, and real
Um,
quick before you interject again, uh, not to be rude, but your theory talks about um a certain point in Scratchman Apoo's past. I would like to speculate more on his past exactly. What do you think What do you think Scratchman Apoo's backstory it will be like if we see it,
So,
which we will?
Scratchmen Apoo is a deep, layered, complex character. So obviously it'll be tragic, it'll be funny, it'll be it'll elicit every emotion possible. Think like every backstory in One Piece rolled together and also written by like the guy who wrote the Bible.
Yeah. That
God.
sounds about right. Um, can you give me some more specifics? You can name these
Well,
specifics with
I
long
can
periods of 5-minute uhs in between them if you would like to.
see. Here's the thing about Scratchman Apoo. He's complex, as we all know. Of course, we all know this.
Mhm.
And you know, and it's probably a sad story, you know, because every good story it has its highs and its lows. Currently, Scratchman Apoo resides in the high. See, Scratchman Apoo, in my opinion, is likely the son of a familiar character. That character being Gecko Moria.
Wow.
So
Very interesting theory.
you may say, how is that possible? Gecko Moria is
Mhm.
some sort of weird, tall goblin monster. And Scratchman Apoo is just a guy with a long arm. And to that I say,
Uh,
cockamamie. I say patooey and other such rude phrases. Because here's the thing.
mhm.
Scratchman Apoo, he has many similarities to Gecko Moria. More similarities than differences. They're both devil fruit users.
Mhm.
They both are morally opposed to Luffy.
Mhm.
See, Luffy wants to destroy the world through a tyrannical reign of a pirate king, and Scratchman Apoo wants to create a system where everyone can play music equally in a
Mhm.
democracy. And of course, he would be the leader, but that's only for the best of mankind.
Oh, hold on, real quick.
Why? Why
Doctor
though?
Peke.
Dr.
Yes.
Peke.
We thank you for joining us on this call today.
Why
Uh,
deaf? I
wh-
can't hear.
Ah,
oh,
yes. Dr. Peke lost her ears.
that if
Ah, yes, we
listening to
found that
too
too.
much of Apu's music
Of
No,
course.
no,
may
no.
even kill you.
They've been reclaimed.
All right. Good news that Apu has given you your ears back. Thank God. Um,
Yeah,
we
they've
would
probably
like to
found the
hear
treasure.
we'd like to hear your speculation on what exactly uh Scratchman Apu's backstory is. Like if you could give this character that we've been talking about a like his a childhood, what would have happened? What were some major events, you know? What do you think?
I would say Scratchman Apoo. He, I would say he gotten quite a bit of whippings as a child. He sounds like someone that would be a very, very bad boy, get into trouble, write on walls and such.
Mm-hmm. Free spirited but
Yeah, I
rebellious.
also believe
Free
that.
spirited,
Yeah, there
which
also
is important.
been might have like one instance where he might have been strangled by a burger. Probably a
Uh,
traumatic experience for him.
yeah,
By,
that
by, by a burger, you say?
Yes, a burger.
Like a hamburger?
Yes, a hamburger.
we can't write off the possibilities.
You're right.
I mean,
You're right.
we
I made a
hamburgers
rookie
alone
mistake.
have killed at least 9 people in the past decade.
Billions
So,
upon trillions of humans and otherwise have been killed by burgers over the millennia.
yeah.
In the
Yeah, I
6,000
remember
years
the
since the
saga.
burger was first created,
Hmm.
a hundred.
Is there anything else you'd like to add just as some closing thoughts to why he is today like the way he is?
I apologize.
Oh.
Mm,
Hailed a bit of
I
glass.
believe I'm not quite sure. I can't recall
Hmm.
my thoughts.
It's it is perfectly all right. You've been in the Apu business since before either of us were born. You are 190 years old. You're going to
And
die soon
Yeah,
you
anyway, but it's
are,
all
yes.
right.
you are aging, old man, and we are the future of Scratchman Apoo
Hmm.
studies. But we
Hey,
keep you around as a
We
professional.
thank you for your developments. Yes.
excuse me, shut your trap. I'll raise you, boys.
All right.
Can't believe you
Thank you
disrespecting
for your
me.
time on the show. Goodbye. All right.
I gotta be honest, Cookie. I think that was just a homeless guy.
I that I I have no idea who that was.
That
I
was
do not
just
know
some
if they have
rando.
any professional Apu studies or anything.
I'm gonna be
Um,
honest. He was dragging around like a bag filled with some sort of brown liquid. I don't know what that was about.
yeah,
And he had really long back hair too. What was that about?
very
Anyways,
yeah,
we should probably
interesting
lock. We should probably
stuff.
lock this door.
Uh, but regardless, even though we have no idea who that was, why they're here, or any of the above reasons, um, I might agree that Apu was a free-spirited and rebellious child. I think that's a
Yeah,
very likely possibility.
you know,
Um,
if you can glean anything from those inane ramblings, it's that Apu was indeed a tortured child,
mhm,
and a free spirit, a rebel. That's a common theme through One Piece: is rebellion and being free and being you. And Scratchman
mhm.
Apu embodies One Piece as a whole. See, can we get a time check real quick?
Time check. We are currently, we have an hour and 20 minutes left.
Of
So real
course,
quick,
we are
um,
closing in on the deadline for discussing in-universe subjects.
mhm.
We will soon be
uh,
hitting the.
quickly, I would like to mention, back to let's talk about the themes of One Piece and how Scratchman Apoo's character plays into these themes. Um, Scratchman Apoo, he, I think Roger perfectly resembles the themes of One Piece. He is the man who has already made it, and he is a goal that many characters strive to achieve to be. And I think Scratchman Apoo has already succeeded in all of the fronts. He is the next Roger, and he will even surpass him.
See,
Um,
that brings us in. I think right now we should take theories in for the future of Scratchman Apu's story, and then we can discuss more outer universe things. But in
yes, I
universe,
agree. Real quick, the reason why Scratchman Apoo plays into the themes of Roger and Luffy's character arc is One Piece is a sad tale from a certain perspective. Um, because we've been building up Luffy as the hero, he's gonna be king of the pirates, all that stuff. But the truth is, Luffy's actual character arc is maturing to a point in realizing um that we um that Scratchman Apoo is the next one to inherit the One Piece. It's
mhm.
a tragic, it's happy and sad. It's bittersweet because we've been building up a hero who will not achieve his end goal, but at the end he will realize what should have been his goal all along. But it'll be sad for some, grateful for others that the full potential of the story was achieved. And another thing, the reason why I'm relating Roger, Luffy, and uh, Scratchman Apoo so closely is because something Luffy said that Scratchman Apoo stated to have believed as well, at a different instance, um, was that Rayleigh, the Dark King, right-hand man of the Pirate King Goldie Roger, uh, asked Luffy if he wanted to conquer the seas of the New World. And Luffy stated, I don't want to conquer anything. I just want to be the freest man in the world. And that is something that Scratchman Apoo already has achieved, but also has believed and wanted to be at some point in his younger childhood. Um, but it just goes to show the similarities between the two.
Now, I think
And
there are more similarities between Goldie Roger, Luffy, and Scratchman Apu. I think they form a sort of a triangle of sorts. See, all three of them
ah,
wear straw hats except for Scratchman Apu.
mhm.
And honestly,
that
Oda's
that
clearly implying
that's
something.
enough of a reason.
That's enough,
Now
really.
a lot of you may be asking, well, what do you mean? We've seen we've seen all these. Let me put a different angle on this section. Uh, the poneglyphs. There are four of them, the road poneglyphs specifically, and they all connect to one point. I think Oda is using this theme twice throughout the story, but in this case, it's Luffy, Shanks, and Roger are all lines to one point that is Scratchman Apoo. And this is seen because we ask ourselves, Luffy has a straw hat, Shanks has a straw hat, and Roger has a straw hat. Those are the three known members. Joy Boy is suspected to be the fourth to keep in line with the road poneglyphs symbolism, but we cannot confirm that. Um, and basically, Scratchman Apoo is what is connecting those lines. But a lot of people ask if Scratchman Apoo is inheriting their will, which is represented through the straw hat, where is the straw hat? And that's the perfect question you should be asking because we have already been given the answer. There is a majorly important character that we have seen twice throughout the series. Dr. Jack, could you please state who that character is for the audience?
Of course, I can do that. A
Mhm.
character we have only seen twice throughout the series is, of course, the one, the only, Gaimon, the box
No,
pirate.
no, that's not.
No,
There's.
I mean, it's not Gaimon.
It's not Gaimon. We were kidding. That was a joke. Scratchman Who finds that funny.
Yeah, Scratchman Apoo finds that humorous. Dr. Cookie, please state who that person is.
It, that person is Eam. That
Eve.
Eam. Uh, the head of
Gaimon's
the
little
world
brother.
government. Yep, Gaimon's little brother Eam, who's the head of everything, has power over the nobles, all of that. Um, and you're asking, what does Eam have anything to do with Scratchman Apoo and the will of D? Um, and the answer is the straw hat, because the only other straw hat that we've seen was with Eam next to it, and it was a giant straw hat in an unknown area of that we've never seen before.
Now,
And you
Dr.
may be
Stoff,
asked,
if I may
yeah,
interject,
yeah,
I must go to the bathroom. I will be right back. Please feel free to
mhm,
continue your theories. I am not needed for
yes,
this particular juncture, so feel free to
all right,
continue. I will be right
yes, of
back.
course. Continuing on with the uh Eam connection, it's because uh the straw hat is seen next to Eam in that instance. Um, and it's it's very confusing for someone that hasn't connected the dots, but that is obviously Scratchman Apoo's straw hat. And if it isn't yet, he will inherit it, but he knows he will inherit it because he has the power to foresee all, which is stated by Oda, exactly. So, hmm, let's see. Do. All right. I think I saw someone raise their hand in the audience if they would like to come up and speak, have a moment of their time. Yes. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Doctor Jig Peke. How are you this evening?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
All
How
right.
are
All
you?
right. Good. Good. Thank you. What do you think about um Scratchman Apoo inheriting the will of D? And do you think that the straw hat Eam was standing next to was indeed uh Scratchman Apoo's
Scratchman Apoo's what?
straw hat?
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Sorry, my memory is failing me.
It's
Okay.
all right. Um,
Um, I think he's committed an awful sin. To be honest, I don't think he should
ooh.
have done that at all.
Now, do you think is this a recent event, or is this something of his past that he regrets, or is he what role do you think is this? Does he feel remorse for this action? And when did this action happen?
I would say it's been a while. There are times when he might feel remorse, but he leaves it in the past. He tries to avoid those emotions that are negatively affecting him.
Very interesting. So you think it's uh, an event, an event that he did that has turned him into a more cold-hearted person, per se. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, yes. Which
Now,
may made him like his trauma made him funny, as you would say.
mhm,
Oh, it's this raving. I mean, it's this
uh,
well-respected doctor.
Um,
heated one.
pardon? What did you say?
Um,
Well-respected doctor.
well-respected
Uh,
doctor.
yeah. So this hobo's theory is that
Um,
a
um,
well-respected
um,
doctor is that Scratchmen Apoo did something terrible in the past that has turned him into a cold-hearted monster. Now,
See,
can you
if
speak on this, Jack?
now assuming that Scratchman Apoo is cold-hearted, which I do not personally subscribe to that theory, but assuming he is, then surely the event that made him cold-hearted would have to be big. Something as big as perhaps his wife dying, or maybe he lost a game of CS:GO or something. Something terrible and tragic, surely. And but those two things seem trivial in comparison to the true tragedy that is Scratchman Apoo was betrayed by a friend, and that friend is Eustace Kid. Now, you may say, well, didn't Scratchman Apoo, wasn't he in an alliance with Eustace Kid? Yes. This betrayal and this change in character happened recently. Very recently. As in when the Pirate Alliance fought Shanks. This is when this change occurred. Because Eustace Kid tried to join Shanks. And the real person who, by the way, for any of those who are listening who are not caught up with One Piece, this is a spoiler. Just, oh my god. Cookie, we have a very special guest. We have Eiichiro Oda himself.
oh my god, my ex.
Yeah.
Dr.
Alright,
Stoff.
I
Let
will be departing for this part of the
Your
conversation.
normal
I do
evening
not wish.
cookies when my secretary busts through the door, telling me, "Boss, you gotta see this." And I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then I was informed of this very important discussion, and I just wanted to confirm that it is all true.
Thank you, Mr. Oda. We love your work. Let me just say that I'm a bigger fan than Cookie. I'm smarter and funnier, and you should let me write for One Piece. But anyways, thank you for
You're
stopping by,
dumb.
Mr. Oh, okay. You
Now, would you say I am dumb?
And Cookie's theory was correct.
come on, man. Come on. I devote my life to your work, and you do this to me.
It had to be done.
Oh, I gotta say, Oda, you sound a lot shorter than I thought you would be.
How dare you? I am 7'4".
Oh my god. But does
This is the disrespect. You are to never touch my work ever again.
no, Mr. Oda, Oda Sensei, come on, come on, don't be that guy.
What's done is done. You cannot take back the harm you have caused by insulting my height.
But wait, take backsies?
No,
Double.
the pain you have caused will never be forgotten.
Hey, Oda, what's that over there? Is that an unresolved plot point?
Whoa!
Thank you, Mr. Oda. He is barreled out of the conversation. And now it appears that I'm flying solo, as I believe my co-host here has had a heart attack. He has unexpectedly disappeared. He is nowhere to be found. I do not know where he is. So I will be flying solo here. And to assist me, I like to call in my Dr. Sierra again. A former guest, a guest we've had a long time ago. Dr. Sierra, would you please raise your hand? thank you, Dr. Sierra, for joining us. Um, how are you doing on this fine evening? Doctor?
All right, I'm back.
Hello.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Dr. Sierra,
Um,
if you are speaking, we cannot hear you. Uh-oh. That's no good. I will now re-invite Dr. Sierra to the stage. Hello. Have you sorted out the issue?
I'll be right back.
Uh-oh. Dr. Sierra. Oh dear. It appears that Nancy is attempting to join. Hello, Nancy.
Who's the special guest?
Who's this?
I'm heartbroken. Oda
Uh,
in the flesh. Here.
yeah, I can't believe Eiichiro Oda was here. You just missed him.
It was not meant to be.
Dr. Sierra. Oh, hello. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, your shit.
Ah, it's okay. It's okay.
Is
You know
that
what?
unprofessional? I apologize.
No, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. So, we are going to discuss you two. My research partner, Dr. Cookie, has left the call temporarily.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so we were going to be discussing Scratchmen Apoo, the man, the myth, the legend. You two have already lent your thoughts, but let us rewind time. What is your favorite aspect of Scratchmen Apoo?
His teeth. They make me
His
laugh. They
his
make
teeth,
me giggle.
they make you laugh, as they always should. See, all right, you know what? Screw it. Dr. Peke, feel. Oh my God! Sorry, that was
Anyways,
unprofessional.
as I was saying,
All right, I'm back.
Scratchmen Apoo. Very, I have had a change of heart earlier today. I felt very differently about this man. But now I have come to realize, I have come to terms with my inner problems, and I have realized that he is actually a great man. I do
Mm.
not know what was wrong with me earlier, what my brain was going through, that I have jumped to such conclusions about Scratchman Apoo. And I would just like to state that because of this certain discussion, I have had a change of heart and would like to let you know that it is all because of this discussion.
Thank you, thank you, Dr. Stoff. I will be right back. You will take the stage, I presume.
All right, yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can
All
fill
right.
in from here on out.
I'm encircled?
Hey,
I'm
hey,
encircled?
hey,
I'm encircled?
Matt. Matt, I
You're
need
literally
something from
dog
you.
water? Jack, I'm getting dog watered?
Mant, are you doing something right now?
I'm playing Hearts of Iron 4 with Matt.
Oh, I
All
get
right,
it.
Pierce.
Nope.
No, listen, it's funny. I assure you.
I
I need you to join.
the fact that you have to tell me that it's funny proves that it is not that funny.
Listen to me. I need you to join.
He makes a
Wait,
good
shit!
point.
This is all on the call. I forgot I was recording. Oh, oh dear lord. Oh, I've completely
Okay,
forgotten.
glad
Oh,
we had that.
oh dear lord.
Thank you for your time, Nancy. Goodbye.
Oh dear lord.
All right, next up on the show, we've hit the hour mark. I'm going to. Yep, there he is. This is our field Dragon Ball doctor expert, McGrath. Thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, now, Dr. Jack, have you returned?
Yes, I've returned. I also realized that I was the one recording this, so whatever you said while I was gone did not get picked up.
Great.
Listen, it's all part of the discussion. It's all part of it.
Yes, it's all right. Now, Dr. McGrath here
Yes.
is a power scaling expert
Yes,
from
I
the
am.
Dragon
I
Ball
am that.
universe.
I am
Can
that.
you not
You're
Jack? Dr. Matt is. Yeah. Jack, please give our fellow expert some things to work off of in order to properly power scale Apu based on his feats.
So Scratchman Apoo has been shown to be able to any musical sounds that he makes, whether it be a sound for something getting scratched or cut or crushed, If somebody hears that, it will occur to them. So, and it is presumed that regardless of power, this will occur as long as they hear it. Scratchmen Apoo has been shown to be at least on Kaido's level, if not greater than Whitebeard, or perhaps even Goldie Roger himself, and it is thought that he is at least as strong as a real person in real life, which is something most fictional characters are not. So, judging on that information, what do you think he stacks up?
You know, in Dragon Ball, there are a lot of people that are like almost as good as humans. But the one that comes to my mind is Yajirobe. He's the perfect amount of human, but he also has a sword. So I mean, he's like kind of above humans. You know, humans haven't invented swords yet in the real time.
Yep.
Yeah, I just had to clarify for the untrained audience members.
Yep.
But the real question is, can he beat Goku?
I'm
I
glad
might
we're
have to
finally
phone a
getting
friend
to
though.
the subject.
I might have to phone a friend. Let me call.
All right. As our expert gathers another expert, let's talk just you and me about the subject. All right, here let's let him back in. Uh, Real quick, Dr. McGrath, Jack and I are going to discuss personally, and then you may interject shortly after about whether
Yes, yes.
Scratchmen Apoo can beat Goku. All right. So, Dr. McGrath, can you list some of Goku's feats?
Yeah, so he once had a tail.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's his main feat. But other than that, he hit his head.
Implausible,
And,
out of context.
Out of context? My bad. Sorry, my bad. One of his other feats, he he created clones of himself, but only once.
Did he? Did he do that?
Yep, he did do that.
Yeah, he did that.
Oh, I guess he did.
He beat a disgusting purple man
Oh, that is true.
by throwing a frog at him. So
That is pretty
do
strong.
Yeah.
I think I can do that though. I can beat Goku.
Plausibly.
What else has he done? He can turn blue.
Now that is no mean feat.
That's crazy, right?
I call to the stand a victim of the past. No, shut up. This is a man I'd rather forget. Jack 2.
My God.
Hello, Jack 2.
Hello, Jack 2.
You're
Oh.
Jack 2. Wait, that makes sense that Jack
No.
2 would say that you're Jack 2.
No.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Listen to me, Cookie.
Listen to me, Cookie.
No, you listen to me, Cookie.
My strings
No,
are
you
being
listen
pulled.
to me, Cookie.
I
I
am
am
the
Scratchmen Apoo.
the
real
real
Scratchmen Apoo
Scratchmen Apoo
expert.
expert.
Oh,
You have to believe me.
You have to believe me.
Dr. McGrath, please help me.
So basically, what I'm hearing is neither of them can get over the fact that neither of them are Goku. So they're arguing with each other, trying to be
created
Goku.
a best possible outcome. Business.
Let's get down to brass tacks.
Oh wait, never mind. We have to check.
I'm glad that you've accepted my request.
Recording. You're recording.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm glad that you've realized that. Hello, Jack 2.
Hello, Jack 2.
Oh.
Okay, here. We have time. Jack 2 or Jack 1. I don't know which one you are. We'll have time for your feud soon. Come back in like 10 minutes. All right.
Okay, Jack 2. Alright, Jack 2 has left for the time being.
So, now, thank you, Dr. Hank Hill, aerospace engineer, for joining us. The question currently is, can Scratchmen Apoo beat Goku? Goku threw a frog at someone, had a tail, hit his head, and can turn blue. Those are his feats. Scratchmen Apoo is stronger than Kaido. and uses musical instruments that anybody can hear from anywhere ever. We're trying to power scale these two. So, you know,
Your
what do you
thoughts?
what are your thoughts on the situation?
Am I Hank Hill? Do I use it?
Thank you, Dr. Hank Hill.
Dr. Hank. Alright. Let's get him back up here. Sorry, he fell off the stage.
Hello.
Bastard.
Are you alright?
Oh my God! Wait, Cookie. I forgot. We humiliated Dr. Hank Hill publicly at the Scratchmen Apoo World Championship 1998.
Oh my God!
I'm holding this podcast in contempt.
As I hear it, Dr. Hank Hill, you said you had a threat for us. Some sort of threat related to an explosive that you want to call in right now. What would that threat be?
Why would I tell you what the threat is?
Listen to me.
What I did.
Listen to me, you son of a bitch.
It's for viewer reference.
Cookie, play the fight sounds.
Hold on.
I'm rolling up my sleeves right now. This is the lore behind this. It takes they're really long sleeves.
I put on my invisible watch.
All right.
You son of a
Oh my
bitch!
God.
You bastard! Get over here! Oh no!
Oh, my
Oh
God.
Jesus! No, I'm getting beat up.
You're going at it.
Oh my God! Oh Jesus!
Such a sad fight.
Oh!
My
Oh!
Their hits are completely
Dr. Jack is dying.
Oh!
Is this the one from Naruto? I hope it
No! No! Shut
Stop
up!
this, Hank Hill. Stop this. We're done. We're done. All right.
You listen to me.
Stop crying. No.
You listen to me.
Stop this right here. Shut up.
Okay.
I'm the expert now.
No, I'm the expert. Jack 2, come back here.
Look. No, don't bring the others into this. We need Hank Hill.
We are Jack.
We are Jack.
No,
You are doomed.
You are
We
doomed.
can't. Okay,
I've
look.
rigged an explosive under this building.
Oh my God.
Nobody fucking move. I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Oh my God.
I got a bomb this time.
Okay, no, we've been away from Scratchmen Apoo.
We've been away for too long. You're right.
Too long.
Okay.
Turn on the AC. It's really hot in here.
Listen to me. We don't have the money for this.
Hank Hill, do you think Scratchmen Apoo could beat Goku? Tell us why or why not.
Yes, because one time I saw Scratchmen Apoo manifest destiny.
That's yeah.
You know what?
Do that.
He did kill a lot of people.
And he certainly is a pirate and
he manhandled my woman.
As he is wont to do. That's true.
I didn't even try to stop him because I knew I couldn't do anything.
That's
a wise move. You nearly died.
Goku, if you think Goku did what he did, do you think he could do it as well, or do you think he would fall short?
Are you implying that Goku's better than me?
No, I'm implying would Goku do as good of a job as Scratchmen Apoo at Scratchmen Apoo's deeds of
like manhandling my woman?
Yes. Would Goku have done a better job?
I think the thing with Goku is that he has a conscience, and
yeah,
he's held back by that. But Scratchmen Apoo knows nothing but evil.
That is debatable.
It's plausible. Mythbusters confirmed that to be plausible, and I trust the Mythbusters. So.
Yeah, well, I don't.
What now?
They haven't done a single They haven't done a single test on whether or not Goku is strong enough to blow a planet.
Well,
I mean, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. He's never done that.
Matt, you don't own a television.
Yeah, well, I can.
Matt, you live in the woods.
I have a microwave, man.
Dr.
wait.
Peke, back at it again, being... You know what? I'm just going to say, you're a homeless person that snuck into our studio trying to talk about Scratchmen Apoo as if you know.
No! Stop shaming me!
No, no, no.
No! Listen to me, Peke. Say one thing about Scratchmen Apoo right now. Go ahead.
He's in the 10 Commandments.
That's
That
true.
is true.
Thank you, Dr. Peke.
I applause for
Are you sure that wasn't just
one
Christian?
truth.
That might have been Chris Chan.
That which one was he? Never mind. No, okay. um do not adults. I don't know. Okay. Um so we've gotten Hank Hill's perspective. It seems you think,
I have killed Hank Hill.
oh my god.
And I've killed Dr. McGrath.
What?
and listen to me. If you want to be next, then you better... No, if you don't want to be next, we better start talking about Scratchmen Apoo right now. Let's talk feats, okay? Let's talk feats.
Yeah,
Give us a time
sure.
check. Give us a time check right now.
The time check. We have 49 minutes left.
Jesus Christ, that's not enough time to talk about all the things we need to say.
That's not enough time.
Oh my god.
Okay, so let us talk on ourselves. We've gotten the professional opinion. We've gotten two conflicting professional
By the way,
opinions.
let's play some Halo
pointed
during
at-
this.
Yeah. Their professional opinions were, one thought that Scratchmen Apoo is slightly stronger than Goku, and one thought he wasn't stronger than Goku.
Yes.
For the turning blue aspect.
Yes.
I'll admit, Scratchmen Apoo never been shown to turn blue, so I can't. That is a slight hit on Scratchmen Apoo, but I think he can shake it without fear. There's a couple characters I would like to talk about with Scratchmen Apoo. I've lined up 3 characters that we can discuss. We can continue talking about Goku. I would also like to talk about Golden Experience Requiem versus
Yes.
Scratchmen Apoo. I
Yes,
feel
yes.
that would be an interesting matchup.
Mhm.
And also, although I'm not an expert on the subject, what is his Light Yagami from Death Note? It
Oh
says
yes,
here.
I'm an expert on that. That
I
particular.
think these
Also,
are
is
3 characters.
Jack 2 is also an expert, but I don't trust that man. About as far as I could throw him.
Fair enough. But let's continue with Goku quickly.
Yes.
Goku's actual feats. Let's really do this. So in the manga recently, well, not recently, but he has mastered UI. And
That
he
is true.
can dodge. We had thought for a long time he could dodge up to any attack ever, but because he's still using it as a transformation, it's holding him back slightly.
Yes.
So I think, in my professional opinion, Goku with UI but not using it as a transformation, if he achieves such a form, might hold a small candle to Scratchmen Apoo's strength. But as of right now, there's no comparison, in my opinion.
Now,
If
I'd
Scratchmen
like to
Apoo
say.
can hit Goku, that's all that needs to be done.
Now, here's the thing, Cookie. Here's the rub. You would be right if Goku didn't have ears. But unfortunately for him, Scratchmen Apoo has ears. Or no, he does have ears. Scratchmen Apoo has music. So here's the thing. Scratchmen Apoo says die. He dies. Simple as. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Scratchmen Apoo wins easy.
Frequency, in seconds, he could destroy your eardrums with his music if he so decided to.
Oh yeah.
So.
His music can actually travel faster than the speed of sound. It travels currently. It is known that it travels actually at the speed of love.
Wow, that is insane.
Inspiring. No, shut up.
Interstellar did a good job of showing the speed of love. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that. But uh, back to Goku real quick, rounding this up a little bit more. Um, if Goku was up close with Scratchman Apoo, how would the confrontation go down? Goku throws a punch. What does Scratchman Apoo do? What happens?
So here's the thing. Goku would go for the face, as Goku is wont to do. It hits a piano key. Goku hears it and cries because it's so beautiful. Then Scratchman Apoo takes the advantage. He grabs Goku by the neck and throws him into the sun, and then plays a musical song that also kills him. So it's like a double kill.
Okay. That is certainly a very incredibly possible thing to happen. That is, I could definitely see, because Scratchman Apoo knows Goku. Scratchman Apoo has one great advantage over Goku here, besides just being Scratchman Apoo. His advantage is he. Excuse me. What?
Sorry, I'm molting. Continue.
Um. Ugh.
Listen to me.
the adva-
It's natural, okay?
the advantage.
Don't look at me while I'm doing it.
I'm sorry. The
It's only gonna go slower. Just keep talking about
what?
Scratchman Apoo.
The advantage of Scratch and Poo is that I'm trying to remember, something's distracting me. Uh, the advantage of Scratch and Poo is he, just like Don Krieg said, he has information.
We live on a ranch. This is being recorded near a ranch. Ignore that.
Sorry, that was outside our window. It's annoying. But Scratchman Apoo is he has information about Goku. Goku doesn't know Scratchman Apoo. His teeth can't be hurt because they're piano keys. Whoa, that's getting kind of mad.
Oh God.
But it's
Oh, that's not good.
someone certainly angered that one. We put it down. We shot it. Anyways, um, that is Jack. Hold on. Just stop for a moment.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going with this.
Scratchman Apoo, he has the information. Goku is known to be not the brightest person. That's why Scratchman Apoo, along with 10 million other reasons, takes the win here. Moving on, Gold Experience Requiem.
Yes, a good
I think
debate.
you were an expert on this subject. Do you wanna give us some seats real
So
quick?
Gold Experience Requiem's power, as we understand it, is that should something cross Giorno, Gold Experience Requiem will rewind time to a point where it hasn't happened. And that event will never happen, and they will never reach a point where they will die. So essentially, the person ceases to ever be able to reach a point where they finish their life. They're constantly in a state of dying, essentially, and they will never reach a point where they don't die. Now, Scratchman Apoo would have to attack Giorno in order to kill him. But here's the thing about Gold Experience Requiem. It sounds like an unstoppable ability. People like Goku, people like, I don't know, Naruto, Luffy, they wouldn't be able to stop Gold Experience Requiem because they simply, the act of trying to stop Golden Experience Requiem would be what seals their fate. But Scratchman Apoo transcends these boundaries. See, Gold Experience Requiem is strong in the realm of fiction, but because Scratchman Apoo is a reality rewriter, and as we know, during JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Eyes of Heaven, Gold Experience Requiem attended to make it so Dio over Heaven was not able to reach the truth. However, Over Heaven Dia was able to simply rewrite reality so that didn't happen. And given what we know about Scratchman Apoo's abilities, it's safe to say that that would happen with Scratchman Apoo too. He'd simply rewrite reality, play a funky tune, and kill Giorno. And now, third on the docket, unless you have something to add to that conversation.
Real quick, please remind the viewers what instance points to because it hasn't been directly stated, but it is clearly seen. You just have to look for it.
Hmm.
What instance has Oda given us that shows Scratchman Apoo's rewriting reality powers?
Well, see, here's the thing. Queen, during the Zuma Zuma song, says, and I quote, "If I were skinny, I'd get all the girls, but I stay fat," or something like that.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
you could take this as Queen choosing to stay skinny, but in reality, this is Scratchman Apoo's influence at its finest. It's working so that Queen stays fat because Queen and Scratchman Apoo both understand that were Queen left to his own devices, he would become skinny, and everybody's women would flock to him, and the human race would be doomed. So, Scratchman Apoo made the tough decision that Queen would have to be fat forever. So he simply made it so. He played a funky tune on his piano teeth, and it made Queen fat.
You make an excellent point. I'd like to expand
Mhm.
upon it. From what we know of especially a Yonko's central commanders, if anybody has battle experience and has certainly been fighting for their entire life, it is them. These are not new. They're not strong people that are even new to fighting. They're strong, but also some of the most experienced warriors out there alive in all of One Piece itself. So it is not, and somehow Queen remains to be fat. This is just clearly completely impossible, um, due to the his amount of fights that he has been in ever, and a lot of people, and a good thing I can use to back this up is fatness in One Piece works a little bit differently than it does in other mediums. For example, Luffy can eat tons of things in a second and instantly become a giant fat idiot, obviously. And when you think about it, this is what should be happening to Queen too. He should be this guy who is pretty much fat when he's eating, but as soon as he starts fighting, he loses all of his weight once he puts some effort in. But he doesn't lose all of his weight. He goes back to the way he was, and that makes you might just write it off if you're not looking for the details, but it's that way because Scratchman Apoo determined it to be that even when he does try and fights, he has to remain fat so that the human race in One Piece can survive in order for there to be a story of One Piece at all. So I'm glad, just needed to expand upon that. I'm glad we've
Glad
given
we've
you.
established that. Could we get a time check real quick?
Time check. We are at 37 minutes on the dot
All
right
right.
now
In
left
about
of this.
in about 27 minutes, I'd like to circle back to our previous debate that we had about Scratchman Apoo's possible telepathy abilities. But right now, let's keep talking. Light Yagami from the Death Note series. Now, Light
Yes.
Yagami is one tough customer. Not for his physical prowess, but the fact that he possesses a weapon known as the Death Note. Now, Scratchman Apoo might have a bit of an issue with the Death Note, for you see, the Death Note, anyone whose name Light Yagami writes into the Death Note, they die of some sort of cause. It's not determined what exactly it might be, but it will be whatever Light Yagami deems it to be, so long as it's within the next 24 hours of him writing it. Then,
I would like to quickly say a good thing, an important thing to note is that a lot of trouble the Light encounters in Death Note is that he doesn't know the actual names of people he needs to kill. I'm presuming this, of
yes,
course. I
yes,
think this
yes,
is the case with a character named L, or well, noted L. But
yes.
in Scratchman Apoo's situation, he is not. He is pretty outgoing. I think he is not the kind of person that would take this fight by not revealing his name. I think he would openly like say his name. I don't think he would hide it. I think he'd try and battle this head on in some form or another. But
Now, I will bring this back to the reality writing scenario, but not in the way you'd think. Scratchman Apoo wouldn't need to rewrite reality in order to make him immune to the Death Note or something. See, it's been demonstrated that the Death Note doesn't work on certain entities, such as the Shinigami, which are death gods. So it's been stated that divine beings are immune to the Death Note. They cannot be killed by it. If you write their names in it, it doesn't matter. They are immune to the Death Note. And, as it would seem, Scratchman Apoo is in fact divine in nature. He is a creation of the divine. He is divine in origin. He has divine powers. Ergo, the Death Note would simply not work on Scratchman Apoo.
that is a very. I think that is our solution to this problem. But I do want to point out, uh, let's give Light an advantage on this one. He is obviously a normal person. We can give him some leeway just for an hypothetical, uh, better fight in his scenario. Let's say that Scratchman Apoo, regardless of his powers, he is not classified as a deity. In that scenario, I think Scratchman Apoo would still come out on top due simply to the fact of his musical range is completely unmatched and his volume is limitless. Therefore, from no matter the second Scratcher Apoo has been shown to be omnipresent. He knows everything that's happening, everywhere. So if Light really even shows any signs of wanting to write Scratcher Apoo's name into the Death Note, Scratcher Apoo would know beforehand, and he could use the frequencies of any one of his instruments in either to explode the head of Light Yagami or just completely paralyze him in one way or another.
Or
I think that's
to like make
that
him
is
gay.
yeah. Yep. Definitely.
The third option. Um,
Uh huh.
So, but that's of course arguing that the Death Note would even work on Scratchman Apoo. This is a pittance we're giving to Light Yagami because we feel bad
Yes.
for him because he's
Indeed.
weak and insignificant and he sucks.
Bad character. Terrible
Bad character,
zero.
terrible show, really.
Yep. Agreed. Um, are there any other hypothetical characters that we would
Now,
like to talk about?
Superman.
Superman. Very
Superman
interesting.
is much the same situation as Goku. They're both very powerful. Superman, it is believed that he has more durability, and he might, in terms of speed, Superman is likely about as fast as Goku, perhaps a little bit faster. But in terms of sheer physical strength, Superman outmatches Goku. Now, in terms of energy output, Goku is unmatched. However,
Yeah.
Superman's sheer physical strength is such that he could probably destroy the universe himself with little effort if he really put his mind to it. But that is, of course, destruction in the physical sense. He could literally smash planets. But Scratchman Apoo is not just on universal level. Scratchman Apoo is on all levels. Scratchman Apoo, when he destroys something, it doesn't just shatter, it is gone. It is rewritten in such a way that it never existed in the first place. That is the true terror of being on Scratchman Apoo's bad side. And I believe
Now,
that Superman stands no chance against the almighty power of Scratchman Apoo.
let's. I would like to take a different stance at this fight as well. I'm gonna do the same thing as like Yagami. Superman is a weak character with essentially no good feats. So we're gonna give him a back. We're gonna give him a little helping hand on this one. Let's say that uh, Scratchman Apoo has no feats shared with a deity at all. He is not omnipresent. He can't just kill people from anywhere. Even in the scenario, let's say Superman would take the stance of flying at Scratchman Apoo. Scratchman Apoo could easily use his arms as a deflection method. It's essentially a shield with no repercussions. Because if Superman punches his accordion arms, he will simply bounce back. He'll take no damage. Scratchman Apoo is perfectly unfazed from that attack. Um, but I want to discuss. Let's talk about Scratchman Apoo's different attacks a bit more. What could he use
So,
specifically
this
in
is
this fight?
this is a subject that is up for debate. On the high end, Scratchman Apoo can potentially cut or harm any object, anything
Mhm.
that has ears that can hear his song. Hypothetically speaking, Scratchman Apoo can harm anyone, so long
Yes.
as they hear him. Now, Superman in particular has a weakness to sound. He can hear things that are literally physically impossible for him to hear, such as when he heard a sound from Earth when he was across the universe, which, by the way, is impossible.
Yep. Because the sound waves don't move through the vacuum of space. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And even if they did, it would take literally trillions of years for them to reach him.
Hmm.
So, Superman clearly can hear anything, including sounds that Scratchman Apoo has not yet made.
Uh huh. Indeed.
Ergo, the fight is over before it even begins.
Hmm. I think honestly, I want to get into a little bit more hypothetical. Another way Scratchman Apoo would win this, he really, when it comes down to it, even with restrictions, he might have an incredibly broken devil fruit because, um, we know he can turn his hands and arms and such, his entire body into instruments, but instruments can essentially be made out of pretty much anything if someone put their mind to it. Technically, if someone chose to, they could make a piano out of kryptonite. That is a
Mm,
totally possible thing. If
it
someone had
is.
enough kryptonite to do it, they can make a piano out of it. Which means that because it classifies as an instrument, Scratchman Apoo can summon anything, any material that has ever been shown in any universe ever to be part of his instrument like ability in one way or another. Which even
And
without the godlyhood powers that we're restricting him from is an insane ability.
now
So,
let me just add on here a little bit of lore. There is an
mhm,
instrument known as the spear piano, which is a piano
mhm,
that is a spear. Now, this
mhm,
weapon has been used for millennia to destroy the music-hating people of the world, and it also
mhm.
creates a sound when it kills somebody. It sounds a little something like this. Now,
Okay, yep.
that sound travels faster than the speed of sound. It actually
Mhm.
travels at the speed of hate, which is faster than the speed of love.
Wow,
And
incredible.
also, it's funnier. So, there.
Mhm.
I win.
Yeah, I mean that
Now,
that
Cookie,
makes perfect sense.
you are a pious man. You have
Mhm.
often said that you have given your life to the Lord. However, we have to address the elephant in the room. Would
Yep.
it's not would Scratchman Apoo be able to defeat God? It's would God and Scratchman Apoo ever need to fight?
Now, I'm glad you've taken the argument in this direction. This is where it naturally would have gone anyways. Do Scratchman and Pooh and God's interests align, or do they deviate? Scratchman Apoo, well, this brings up a good question. We know a lot about Scratchman Apoo, and we know a lot of his character traits, but what do you think his end goal is? Does he just want to become the Pirate King, or does he... We must answer that question first in order to make any progress, truly. So,
Yes.
let's speculate
Scratchman
a little bit.
Apoo ultimately the being the Pirate King is but a means to an end for Scratchman Apoo. What Scratchman Apoo really wants is a new world. A world devoid of prejudice and hate. A world where everyone can play music equally. And in order to get that world, he must become Pirate King. Now, God God's a good guy. God wants the world to be peaceful and free of sin. And
Yep.
one of the sins is fighting. I have no
True.
basis for that, but I assume it's true.
Well, it's yes. Usually, well, in a sense, there is an exception called zeal, which zeal is righteous anger. So the one example that we get of zeal, I'm going to bring in New Testament lore in order to make this argument happen. The one example that we get of zeal is there are merchants selling merchandise and various objects directly outside of a temple of worship, and they're on the property. They're directly outside the main doors, and Jesus, who is a confirmed very strong character, is not okay with this. Feels they're disrespecting the Lord, and in his zealous anger, he flips their table and tells them that this is not acceptable. What you're doing is not just in the eyes of the Lord.
Does he actually
And now,
flip their table?
yes, he does.
Big J doesn't mess
That's
around. And
Yeah,
neither does Scratchmen Apoo. Scratchmen Apoo would do the same thing because he understands that a church is a place of worship, a place of respect. And Scratchmen Apoo is nothing except respectful.
If Scratchman Apoo's motives are pure, and if his forceful actions are restricted to those that can qualify themselves within zealous anger, then the two motives could possibly coexist. I agree with that. So,
Time check?
yeah. Time check. Hold on 1 second. All right. 23 minutes.
23 minutes. That's all the time we have to discuss Scratchmen Apoo, huh?
Yep. That's all we have left. But it's been confirmed. Scratching of who, depending on, he could take different routes, but there's definitely a possible route for his interests to be fulfilled, and he still align himself with the interests of God. So, yeah.
Yes.
Very interesting.
But also, yes.
Yes, but also yes, indeed.
Yes.
So we've talked Scratchman Apoo in universe. We've talked Scratchman Apoo out of universe. We've discussed his goals. We've power scaled him. We've had multiple experts come in. No, there's just so much more to talk about.
So much. Like narrowing it down, it's tough enough,
Yeah, it's really tough to decide what we want to use these next 20 minutes to talk about, because there's just so many options.
Let's talk about the Scratchman Apoo in the room. What is Scratchman Apoo's favorite food?
Okay, let's get a little personal. His favorite food has never been confirmed, but we can speculate for sure.
It probably has, but we can speculate anyways.
Actually, yeah, let's do some speculating for us, why won't you?
So, Scratchman Apoo has been shown to enjoy playing music. Now, music is often played at restaurants. And Scratchman Apoo has actually shown an affinity for jazz. He plays piano, he plays trumpet. He's known to like jazz. And jazz joints, they serve some nice foods. They serve a nice seared steak, a tasty sirloin. Hell, you could even get a fine wine. I think Scratchman Apoo, with those delicate piano teeth, would enjoy something a little softer, however. And that's why I think Scratchman Apoo's favorite food is chocolate mousse.
Now, while we've actually I have some trivia. That's what we use our time for. Some Scratchman Apoo trivia.
Scratchman Apoo trivia.
And this is actually one of the things. What his favorite food is. It's been confirmed by Oda. Tom Yam soup.
I was kind of right.
Food.
It was a soft food.
it is indeed a soft Tom. Tom, is it Tom Yam or Tom Yum? Because it says Tom Yam here.
No,
It's Tom Yum, but is a type of hot and sour Thai soup usually cooked with shrimp. Hmm. Very,
Hmm.
very interesting.
Very
Um.
Scratchman-like.
And I guess you being an expert, Jack, you could guess this off the bat what his least favorite food is easily.
Oh,
Um.
you know,
Yeah.
it's
You know
definitely not chocolate mousse.
yeah, it's not that. So what is it? You'd know. If anybody knows, you would, right?
Are you challenging me?
I'm just I'm just asking a question for the viewers to speculate on. Maybe you could,
No, you
you
know
know.
what? This entire discussion, all night, you've been after something. You lured me in here under the guise of wanting to talk about Scratchmen Apoo, and you know I can never resist that. Nancy, and I mean Jack too, please ready up to join real quick. You've always been jealous of my Scratchman Apoo affinity.
What
Jack
what
too.
me?
Something to prove that I am the real Jack and that Jack is a fake. I know.
No, wait.
You,
Scratchman Apoo's least favorite food.
No!
I know
No!
the truth. Well,
Yes.
that Jack is a poser. He knows nothing
I'm
about
Mm-mm.
Scratchman
I'm
No!
Apoo.
sorry. I'm sorry, viewers, but it seems the we've been talking with a fake Apu expert this entire time. The the Jack 2 is
It's
actually Jack
mayonnaise,
1.
okay?
And
You liar, you gula. I can see your search history.
No, you can't. I can
We
see
are
your search
lying.
history.
I
You looked it up. You're the
guarantee
fake
you.
one. You're the fake
You looked
Scratchman
it up.
Apoo
You're
expert.
the fake one. Nope, you're lying.
No, you're the
You're
fake one.
I'll
I've
give
been
you
here the
this.
whole
You want?
time. I've been here the whole
Scratchman Apoo
time.
would
all right,
despise you.
nope.
He would be
Look,
ashamed of the person you've
look,
become.
both of you, stop this. I have a way to tell who is the real one. I will ask you questions about Scratchman Apoo that only the real Jack Scratchman Apoo expert that I know would know. Um,
Okay, fair enough.
this is the ultimate test. And just say the answer as soon as you possibly can. Um, hmm. But
We're all waiting here, big guy.
okay. Where, if One Piece was set in the real world, where would Scratchman Apoo be from?
Puerto Rico.
New Orleans.
Incorrect. Incorrect.
What was it?
If no, you have to. Do you want the answer?
Yes.
No.
Keep guessing. Figure it out. By the way, we're talking countries here, not
Countries, not continents?
yeah, not continents, countries.
China.
America.
Yep, that is 1 point for Jack 2. China is
Loser.
correct.
No, no.
That is that's something that's something a Scratchman Apoo expert would know. Um, the next thing, what Scratchman Apoo resemblance? Like, what is he a resemblance of? What animal has Oda said he's resemblance of? Any answers?
Listen to me.
And you can tell this just by looking at him. It's not hard. What does he look like if you
Listen to
remember?
me. I know this.
All right.
He is resembling an orangutan.
That is correct. That is 1 point to Jack 1. That has been. We now have a final question. Um, this will determine who is the real Jack.
Hmm.
Uh, hmm, mm, mm. Okay. Apu fought along X Drake and Basil Hawkins to fight and a rouge. Wait, never mind. Never mind. Incorrect question. Sorry. That I was wrong screen. My bad. All right.
Oh wait, you're having to look up these questions?
No, 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 no.
No,
I'm
it
getting
seems that
I'm on
you are
stage.
the
There's
It
a
real.
seems that
Apoo.
Jack 2, this is clearly a false Scratchmen Apoo expert.
Look,
A
hold.
real Scratchmen Apoo expert would know the questions off the top of his head.
Of
They would know what to
course,
say, how to
they would know
speak.
what to say.
You're a faker.
You're a faker, a fraud!
Hold on. Hold on.
Give us a time check, Cookie,
You
if that even
played
is your
the
real
game.
name.
If
All these
anyone's real
lies.
here, it's me. You two are fools. We have 15 minutes left.
You know what?
Wait. Hold on. Hold on. What did Scratchman Apoo do to Kizaru and Sebodi besides attack him that the rest of that no other member of the worst generation did?
He was able to land 2 effective attacks on him.
Nope.
He pantsed him.
He what?
He pantsed him.
It's in the spirit of that, yes, but he didn't do that.
No! He was able to land 2 attacks on Kizaru when none of the other supernovas were able to.
Yes, but we're excluding attacks. What other specific thing did he only do? This isn't explicitly listed in a wiki if you're trying to look it up.
I'm
This
not
is just
looking
an
anything
actual-
up.
This is just an actual Scratchman Apoo fact that I know.
He played the jam.
Nope.
And
Think about who he is. What does he usually do in fights based on his characteristics that other people don't do?
He usually tends to like not fight directly.
You're kind of close.
what does he do if he does not play the tunes? It's the real.
You know what?
The
I've
real
I've decided
compliment.
we both win, Jack 2. However,
No. What?
oh,
You've
you know
won
what?
a
He
single.
messes with him. He jokes around.
What? That's correct.
That is the essence of what I said to begin with.
That is
No.
also true.
No, shut up.
It
I
wasn't
had it on the
directly
disc.
stated, but he does joke around a lot, and pantsing someone is in the
it's a
spirit
joke.
of Scratchman Apoo.
We'll call this another draw, Jack 2. You live another day.
So it
I will live
seems
forever.
wow, this is
It seems we're evenly
can't believe
matched.
this revelation. Wow, that's insane. I'm blown away. We have 12 minutes left. Wow. Jack, would you like to take the podium?
I would like to take the podium. Let's have one last discussion. For old time's sake, Cookie. We've been debating this for millennia. Is Scratchman Apoo capable of telepathy, or isn't he?
Scratchman Apoo is capable of telepathy. Because let me explain. Sounds are different frequencies. His specific version of telepathy is that he uses his telepathy through frequencies. He uses individual frequencies that only can be heard by certain people due to their unique standing in the One Piece world, to uniquely, with his voice, individually communicate with each person. That's how he did it with Kobe and Shanks, but with different frequencies, since they're different people. And that is telepathy.
You son of a bitch.
You have no counter. That was too good of an argument.
Rewind. You bastard! Have at you! You think you can stop me just because I have no hands? Well, you fool! While you were explaining your stupid Scratchmen Apoo... Jesus, you're getting pretty good. While you were explaining your stupid Scratchmen Apoo point, I was putting on robot hands and getting a sword! You fool! You've always rested on your laurels. Well, not now! What have you to say in response to this?
I have my own sword.
No! What have I been... Who's been clashing swords with me until now, though? Or did I just not realize?
But it wasn't me. It was Jack 2, who is now mute and not here, but it was...
Oh my god, Jack 2 in a last act of defiance!
Yep. Together we will kill you. You're the fake Jack.
No, I'm the real Jack! You bastard! You don't love Scratchmen Apoo!
The only reason you wouldn't agree with me is because you know nothing about Scratchmen Apoo.
Don't you say that to me!
If you
know nothing!
If you knew anything about him, you would agree with me!
If you knew anything about him, you'd agree with me! Scratchmen Apoo doesn't use telepathy, his music is all-encompassing, all-knowing! He doesn't need to speak! Telepathy involves speaking!
It's frequencies. He has control of frequencies. Are you an idiot?
Idiots! You don't understand anything! It's not frequencies! Well, it is frequencies! But it's more than that! It's frequencies of sound and words and feelings! He operates at a different wavelength! But you wouldn't understand that! Oh, the fight's over.
Look.
Give us a time check.
We have 8 minutes left.
You son of a bitch. Oh, God!
What?
Don't worry about that. That was a guy that just walked in. I don't know how he did that.
That was a Gaimon. Oh my god.
That was a Gaimon. Listen to me, Cookie. You're right. Swords, they're not gonna cut it. That's why I have brought a gun.
Oh, I'm taking cover.
You idiot.
You're wrong about Scratchmen Apoo.
Scratchmen Apoo would support this. Guns are a form of music.
Die.
Oh, you have your own gun. It's got a silencer. Oh, it's less loud, but not completely silent. As silencers do not silence, believe it or not.
They don't actually. Yep.
That's one thing we can agree on. Silencer lore.
I'm telling you, this is it.
You're not killing anybody.
I have an army of 10 million men.
No, well I have 10,000,001 men. And a girl.
Oh, the one. Oh my.
Oh my god, they're...
army, jackass.
You bastard. How could you do that? That's it. Get in here.
What?
Big miss.
What?
This is my biggest guy. He's stronger than all the other guys combined.
Oh my god.
The only way to be able to counter this is if you somehow got King Kong. But that's impossible.
It's totally impossible.
He's thrashing around over here. He's wrecking things. You have no thing to counter this. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing you could do.
Nothing at all. Can you force skip? What was that? I of course have something that counter. There
No.
he is.
No!
Yes!
You brought King Kong!
It's King Kong!
Oh, Jesus! Scratchmen Apoo! No! Help me, Scratchmen Apoo!
He won't save you. He's on my side.
No, he's on my side! Oh my god!
He's
Wait.
Destroyed your
Give us
armies.
a...
He's taken down Godzilla.
Give us a time check.
5 minutes and 45 seconds.
You fool! They've both left. They made friends, which is
Oh
something
my
we could
God.
never do. Cookie, we've lost our guns. We've lost our armies. We've lost our swords. It's time we just had a fist fight. You and me, just like the old days. Hold on.
Ah,
I'm just preparing. Get it! I'm gonna kick
no.
your ass!
What?
What?
Wait, this might actually give us spoilers.
This may
Or
no.
no.
This is something. Hold on.
Wrong thing. Sorry, I just started watching Naruto instead of fighting. My bad.
Yeah, don't worry about that. No, never mind.
This
This
is
is the
still the
same.
wrong thing. Just play Jotaro versus Dio. This aura sounds, I don't know. Oh my God. This is terrible.
This is. We're gonna fight.
We're fighting still.
You have. This
This
is
is
me.
me talking to
No,
you.
this is me talking to you.
Fine, whatever.
Give us a
The
time
narrator.
check, Cookie. We're fighting.
4 minutes, 25 seconds.
This is Jack 2 narrating.
Yeah. We're just standing looking at each other right now. Back.
You. This is me.
You.
It's me, the guy.
I'm gonna stop you.
You're not gonna. No, I'm gonna stop you. You're the bad.
What?
What?
What? Ah! Ah!
Ah!
Ah!
By the way, can you let me know in exactly 1 minute and 40 seconds when we're done doing this?
Wait, what?
Just. No, let me know when there's 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
Okay.
You bastard. You think Scratchmen Apoo has telepathy? Well, you're dead wrong.
Oh, you're done.
You're done. This is you, but this is me.
This is me again.
What's the time?
We're 2 minutes 57 seconds. Hold
Cookie,
on.
Cookie, wait.
Fighting.
Hold on.
Stopping.
Hold on.
I'm gonna beat the shit.
Wait. 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 We're evenly matched. We've been looking at it the wrong way the entire time. It's not that Scratchmen Apoo either did telepathy or he did music. It's both. Scratchmen Apoo, everything is music. And by proxy, he has the ability to play music with his mind. So I guess in the end, we were both right.
That was just what I was saying. You fool! What?
In the end, I guess we really were. Hold on. I guess in the end, after it all, I guess we really were. One. Wait, hold on. God, they talk for a while.
It's about to hit it. It's 1 minute.
I guess we really are one piece. Scratchmen Scratchmen Apoo. Scratchmen Apoo. Scratchmen Apoo. Scratchmen Apoo. Scratchmen. Scratchmen Apoo. 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 Scratchmen. Scratchmen Apoo. Scratchmen Apoo, 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 Scratchmen, Scratchmen, Scratchmen Apoo. All right. Well,
we have 15 seconds left. During these last 10 seconds, this has been a wonderful ride. I hope you learned everything about Scratchmen Apoo. 8
yeah.
seconds. Say your goodbye, Jack. Hurry.
Good.
5,
Hold on.
4,
Goodbye, everybody. We did good. We talked about Scratchmen
we love
Apoo.
you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.